I'll keep an eye. Okay, are we? It doesn't show it yet on YouTube.
Well,
I guess there's a lag.
there's a delay because my internet's shit. But hello everyone, welcome to the WriterBotFestFestivalCelebrationCon2020. The name gets longer every time we say it.
We are so excited! What is this live stream celebrating, Tanhony?
Well, it was originally meant to celebrate us reaching 100 subscribers. We now have around 260 subscribers.
We're closer to 300.
So we're also packing the 200 subscriber celebration into this as well.
Yes! Exciting. So we have a couple things we want to do today. We'll probably start off just chatting with each other and with you guys, and then Tanhony, what else are we doing today?
We're going to be looking at some drafts that people have sent in over the last few days. We're going to be, once we get through those, we're going to be doing some SCP writing of our own, maybe, seeing what we can come up with on short notice.
And what are we doing when we tackle these drafts? Are we just going to be editing, giving suggestions, or are we just going to give our opinions, as if like we do on a podcast?
Yeah, well, for the first read through, we'll just give our opinions as if it's just a SCP article on the wiki. And then we're going to get a bit into technical it, open its guts up, and see what we find.
I do see one of the pages there is called Zatliers. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Yes,
that looks promising by name alone.
I haven't read them yet, so I can't comment on anything regarding them.
Fascinating.
And let me just put in our Discord channel, which is now available, and there's a link on the account. I'm going to put an announcement saying that the stream has officially started.
Yes, everyone, please join our Discord. We're always in need of more D-class personnel.
Yes.
Dr. Tanhony uses them up pretty quickly. It's rough. Also, I see some familiar faces in the chat. Hello, Hexic. Hello, Killer Gamer. Of course, Henzoid, our lovely mod for this evening.
Yeah,
and also one of the mods on our Discord.
I recognize most of the people here from the Discord, so I don't know what purpose advertising the Discord served.
Well, I mean, that's cool. See, we got a little community. We're so glad to have you guys. It's very dope. All right, so Tanhony, how have you been doing today?
I've been doing okay. It's been rainy as shit here today, but that's England, so what can you really do?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that just sounds like England. Did you get a chance to like take your dog out and everything?
For like 5 minutes. Yeah, he didn't want to go.
Understandable. Anything else you've been working on? Any other writing projects or SCPs you want to sneak peek to the audience? Tell them about.
I've been saving my SCP ideas this week for the live stream, actually. So hopefully we'll be able to get through a few of them today. Yeah,
that'd be fun. I get to watch you do it in person. I'll probably be the one. Tan gets like hyper focused sometimes when he's writing, so I might at periods be the one talk. Just trust me, it's worth it to see the magic at work.
So is the picture okay for everyone? I can notice a little bit of a flicker on the preview there.
That's just every time you open Discord again, it does that. It does that for me on your screen share too.
Okay, I've not opened Discord, so that's a bit worrying.
Okay, well, I honestly think it's only flickering the tabs, not the content. If anyone knows how to fix that, they can tell us, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's not that urgent of an issue.
Apparently, it's raining for a couple of our other viewers too. Hexic's talking about it. Rain is the natural state of being in the UK. Yeah,
absolutely true. We've opened our SCP live stream with a discussion about the weather. So
it's literally it's like a magical land where it's always raining.
Always sunny, but never Christmas. Always snowy, but never Christmas.
Always sunny, but never Christmas. Well, yeah, Tan, it's June. That's why it's sunny and not Christmas.
Oh, I used to fucking love Narnia when I was a kid. Have you ever read it?
I have. I've read the entire series several times.
Yeah,
I love Narnia dearly. Yeah. Even the first book that no one remembers because they all skipped to Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe.
What do you mean they all skipped the Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe?
Because of the movie, a lot of people just read the books or the after that
one.
Right. They skipped the first one, treated as a prequel.
The casual Narnia fans.
Yeah. We call them casual-nians. Or Narnials. Okay. What's a good name for casual Narnials?
We call them the As-lacking.
The As-lacking! That's funnier than it should be.
Okay.
It's not raining for T3DK, so maybe you just live in a poopy place in the UK.
Okay.
So you know how like the stereotype is when you're on like a hilltop house, you're richer. are like the wealthiest UK citizens in places where there's actually sunshine. It's like based on weather.
Yeah, it's a en masse, so there are different weather conditions at different parts. Abby Yo,
The aristocrats get.
I'm just speaking to Abby Yo in the chat. So they ask, do we send only through Google Docs? I've just got these laid out in Google Docs. You can send them me in whatever method is best for you. It's just,
Yeah, I mean, heck, you can just put them in the chat, right?
you cannot put paste the draft into the chat. What do you mean?
No, I mean like the link to their Google Doc in the chat.
Okay,
right?
okay, yeah. If you want it in a Google Doc, you can do it.
Don't put a giant essay in the chat of your whole SCP. That would not be good. So what are we gonna do first? Look at some of these drafts. Are we gonna do the thing you wanted to write? Do we have like a particular order that you had in mind?
Okay, well we'll just go in the order that they've ended up in the Google Docs through alphabetical.
Okay, so should we start with copy of draft lost?
Yes, let's get to that's draft lost. Ahem.
Yeah.
Let's begin. Right, and
Let me get the.
this one is by. I do not recall who this one was by. Hopefully they're watching the.
Well, look who's sharing it with you, or that might be their email. It says by anonymous.
No. Well, that's because it's a copy I made and put in my own Google Drive, so I could just have them all in one folder.
Well, whoever
Tail
sent
drafts
it to
are
you-
allowed too, Dr. Munnard.
Yes. For the record, I don't have the chat up right now. I've got it full screen so I can actually see what's on the
And
screen.
so I don't need to.
All right, so we have item number SCP-XXXX, object class Euclid.
Okay, let's get into it. Special containment procedures. The house in which SCP-X is located within. Okay, so I know I was going to just read through it normally first, but I think that first sentence is a bit awkward. The house in which the SCP is located within.
Yeah.
So I would rephrase that to something like the house.
I would just put, yeah.
The house within which SCP-X is located has been acquired by the Foundation through conventional means. The perimeter of the building.
Wait, did you just correct the first sentence to what it already said?
That's not what it says.
The house in which SCP-XXXX is located.
That's not what I said either.
Well, what did you say?
The house within which SCP-X is located.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Has been acquired by the Foundation through conventional means. The perimeter of the building has been barred from public access via the creation of an electrified... Oh, it's hectic. Sorry about that, hectic. Via the creation of an electrified fence standing 2.5 meters in height. These procedures have been explained under pretense of structural instability, which has been disseminated to the local public.
That makes sense. So they've got a way to disguise it kind of in plain sight, because it's a little difficult to move an entire house.
Yeah. The interior of the house, including SCP-X itself, is constantly monitored using CCTV while it's transmitted through a secure network to a security station located off-site. Due to the lack of knowledge fully pertaining to SCP-X relating to its nature in the interest of safety, entry to the anomaly is limited. I was thinking about that sentence as well. That feels like...
Well, we should probably start with constructing or criticizing the major themes rather than the grammar. We're not newspaper editors. We'll never make it through if we do that.
Killer Game, I don't think it means that they moved the house. I think it means they bought it.
Right.
So, due to... Yeah, sorry, I'm still stuck on that sentence, sorry. Only being permissible per a formal request to the current acting research head of SCP-X.
Okay, so this is one of those ones, again, where maybe... based on just an initial impression I'm getting is it's something similar where people want to be in it, they have to apply for it. Or do you think it's more along the lines of like, we don't let researchers in unless it's for a specific reason?
It could be either way, really, for me. I don't know enough to say yet.
Yeah, I guess we got to keep reading here.
So, as no conclusive knowledge has been gained from the testimony of Person of Interest X and the locals near SCP-X.
Oh, that's new. I've never seen the Person of Interest.
Yeah, I don't think we've come across that during the podcast yet.
Wow. Live stream first. Fun.
So all of the aforementioned individuals have been administered Class B amnestics and released to the general public. Okay.
Right. So normally I like to really guess at it based on what the containment procedures are, but honestly it's pretty vague, so I don't really have anything I can think of. I mean, we know it's in a house. For some reason, it can't leave the house, so maybe it's bound to the house in some way, like some sort of spirit, or maybe it's a part of the house's interior. And we know that they only let you in if there's a specific reason for it.
Yeah, you have to have formal permission.
So this won't be the kind of SCP where there's like a giant test log, I imagine.
No. I would think usually you would need formal permission to access any SCP.
Right. I guess they're meaning because like a lot of times they'll I think the idea is like I think what they mean to say is a higher ranking SCP official, like not just the doctor that's watching. It could be like, all right, D class going. It's like a bigger deal than that. But maybe that could be better reflected in the writing. That's
okay. So description: SCP-X designates a small bedroom located within a recently abandoned one-story home in Weehawken, New Jersey.
one just the ever so tiny complaint. I just don't like the time-sensitive remarks of recently because the article's going to age over time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
very personal thing. I would just keep it within an abandoned one-story home.
The room displays unstable human levels. This is another term Darnell hasn't run into yet. That basically means
Yes.
reality fuckery level.
Ooh, reality fuckery level, my favorite kind of level.
And a noticeable amount of physical objects. I would say noticeable number there, if I'm honest. Inside of...
Now we're nitpicking the word choice.
It's a... What do you mean? That's
I
why it was sent to me. That's what we're here for.
I realize we're here to edit the draft, but I figure he probably cares more about the overarching structure of his narrative than every little synonym for the word.
We are going to do that as well. It's just that we're going through the drafts, and it popped out to me, so I mentioned it.
I just know if someone kept doing that to me when I asked them to edit my thing, I would probably hit you in the head.
Okay, let's edit your thing, Darnell. Where is it? Yeah, I didn't think so.
The crystal bird thing. That's all I have.
So, the noticeable amount of physical objects inside of SCP-X that, prior to its discovery by the Foundation, have been distorted in varying degrees. I would say maybe the tenses seem to be a little strange here.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I feel like that's a legit criticism, especially because you go with from recently abandoned to now you're going to what seems like a larger past tense.
Well, it starts with present tense sentences. The room displays.
Right, and then it ends with past. It displays have been distorted. I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me. I mean, I don't think it's grammatically incorrect, but
yeah, it's a bit. It doesn't sound natural.
It's a little wonky, right?
Well, maybe we'll get back to that once we're done.
Yes.
We go to like a deeper reading because we're meant to be reading the SCP. So this is believed.
We're not even. Oh, go ahead.
This is believed to be a form of imprinting resulting from a period of extreme mental or physical stress experienced by a currently undocumented ontokinetic object or entity present within the area at the time.
Okay. Is ontokinetic a real thing, or is that an SCP?
I think it's a reality like bender, if I'm correct. That's the science.
I'm gonna look up ontokinetic and see if there's a real word for that.
SCP will probably be the first option.
It is, yeah. So that's an SCP thing. So what is it again?
It's like a reality bending man.
Okay. So whatever this is, this has a lot to do with bending reality. I'm gonna laugh if this is just a really long like SCP style article for a house that's bigger on the inside than the outside. So like every wizard store I've ever put in a D&D game.
So aside from the unstable reality, SCP-X possesses an antimemetic filter, which increases in severity towards the far corner of the room near its sill window. So antimemetic we haven't encountered before.
Yes. Well, we have done antimemetic.
That's what I said. Yeah. So.
But I don't understand what it means by filter.
So it's like an antimemetic effect applied to something, I would say.
Oh, and it gets stronger the closer you get to that area. There's a footnote, by the way. Should we scroll down the footnotes? Or should we save that to the end?
Can I hover over it, or is that not in Google Docs?
It's not in Google. I think it'll be at the bottom. He'll probably have a list of footnotes at the bottom.
For reasons currently unknown, the previously stated window had metal bars installed in its exterior when it was first discovered. These modifications have since been removed.
Oh, so that's interesting too, because usually the SCP organization doesn't really mess with the thing initially, which implies that either the house itself isn't a part of the SCP, so they don't care, or that's just very intriguing that they would like edit. Edit's the wrong word. What's modify?
That would say so. Yeah, modify.
Yeah, modify the thing that they're experimenting.
Okay, so this filter increases in strength until viewing that portion. No footnote of the room. Let's go back down. This regards the corner of the room previously mentioned. Yeah, I don't know whether we need that.
I don't think that was a necessary.
It was last sentence.
Next fucking sentence.
I would lose that footnote.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm not making fun of you, Hexic. That was just really funny that we like scrolled all the way down. It's like the thing from last sentence.
The room becomes impossible, only appearing as a void in space, as light passing through the area becomes imperceivable to sapient beings. So that's quite cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that a lot, actually.
This effect is believed to be caused by an unknown anomalous object in that location, which has thus far been impossible to remove from its current position. See Addendum 2 for more detail.
So is the SCP something they haven't actually located yet?
It sounds
is
like
that what this is saying?
the SCP is the room, but they think the room is a side effect of something else, from what I understand. When they haven't
Probably
quite...
underneath the floorboards.
So, along with this, taking into account SCP-X's unstable reality, several abnormalities are present within SCP-X, which may or may not have been caused by alterations to the room's reality.
And there's another footnote.
Yeah, okay.
See room mentioned before. Sufficient data collection research is still ongoing to determine these. Okay. I don't know if that's necessary, because isn't that kind of implied?
Yeah, I would also just mention there's a full stop missing after the footnote there.
Yes. I would maybe cut... I mean, maybe, Tanhony, I'm only on Series 2 in the podcast, so maybe it's different in Modern Articles, but I do feel like this is a little... Usually footnotes have been, like, for either to say this is from another article, or to expand upon something that the viewer may not understand. This kind of just seems like it's being used to imply things that aren't directly written that I think the reader would be able to take. I mean, the first one was a pretty good footnote, I think, but the 2 and 3 don't really seem necessary to me. Just, like, cut down on the footnote usage. That's my opinion. What do you think on that?
I can go either way on footnotes, really. But that's 2-1 I feel like isn't necessary. And let me just have another look at 3, see what I think of that one.
Yeah, 3 just says they're still doing research, which I think applies to every SCP in existence.
Yeah, that was probably up to you, Hex. That's a matter of taste, I think, rather than
specific. But I just want to be clear, Hex, just because I have my own personal opinions and judgments. I actually am enjoying this so far, and I'm very happy that one of our longtime viewers is such a strong writer. It's very fun. So Discovery, this is new. I've never seen a Discovery section before.
Yeah, so Discovery does pop up from time to time. Sometimes it's just part
usually
of the
it's just a part of the description. Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it is
kind of cool.
Semi-common. So Discovery.
Yeah. Let me real quick put my Discord on D&D because I'm getting notifications now and I don't. All right, there we go.
So SCP-X's anomalous properties were initially reported by Layla Jennings, a 15-year-old female living in the area who is hereby designated POI-X.
Okay, so I guess she's the aforementioned POI.
The previously mentioned individual, I think you can lose the previously mentioned individual, just say she, I think.
Yeah.
Had contacted the local authorities regarding the anomalous nature of the room after she admitted to looking through the object's single window. That's the object single... I would just say through its single window, maybe.
Yeah.
So...
Because the house itself we established is not the object, right?
It's just like referring to a room as an object is a bit... hello, Cement Tiger.
So, what did you say?
What's going on with Tiger? Someone said hi, Ton. I said hi back.
Oh, hi, Tiger. I know you didn't say hi to me, but I'm just gonna
you said hi to me.
That. Yeah, I know. I'm just Tanhony's friend.
So, Foundation Web Crawler YE2807. So, this is something that's referred to that sort of scrubs the web for, or sort of media in general for suspicious.
Oh, kind of like the Google things that crawl through for like sites to. Oh, but it's SCP. That's kind of cool because I wondered, for such a highly technologically advanced organization, we haven't heard like anything about their cybersecurity yet, or like their internet means of research.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So that does come up.
Awesome. I'm really excited for when we get there.
Had picked up on the call. The incident was intercepted by Foundation agents, and containment of the anomaly was deemed a success. Upon questioning, I would just put a comma there after questioning. No, sorry, I wouldn't do that. I didn't read the next page. Upon questioning POI-X regarding her intent near the house, she began crying, though she herself wasn't sure why. That's a bit of an awkward sentence, I think. Let me see if I can rephrase that.
One thing I would also change, and again, very small personal thing, the next sentence I noticed also starts with questioning. I try not to use the same words too many times in a row, just because it feels weird. So maybe upon investigating the locals or interrogation of the locals would like break up the word other than questioning, because then it sticks out and starts to look like a sore thumb. But
maybe again, just change this first questioning to interrogating, because that fits it more.
Yeah, upon interrogating POI XXX. And that does seem like something the SCP Foundation would do rather than nicely questioning. They're a very mean organization from what I've learned thus far.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't think I've met a single nice SCP agent. Except for Agent Michaels, he was pretty dope.
We didn't know much about him. He just, other than the fact that his voice was hell. She has self.
His voice was an anomaly. Alright, are you just, should we keep going?
You guys just keep going. We'll come back to individual
Yes.
sentences.
So questioning rooms window for short periods. So we're at the locals.
Okay, so the locals also reported seeing a male humanoid figure similar in age to POX in the room. She claims to have no memories of these visits, with hypnosis yielding few useful results.
Okay, so basically that tells us that she wasn't lying.
So POX claimed that the previous owners of the house were highly religious and strongly believed in the removal of impurities from the body and soul.
Ooh, that kind of adds a little interestingness to the story. I hope the addendums delve into that more.
So Addendum X.1. A complete list of the findings of an SPX is as follows. Metal fragments coated in blood and trace amounts of bone are suspended 0.25 meters from SCPX's flooring near its entrance.
Ooh,
A heavily
spooky.
damaged hammer, also coated in blood and lodged into its far wall. It is believed that this item is the source of the metal fragments. Yeah, I can take that. That's a good footnote.
Yeah.
A half-empty package of Goldfish brand crackers. Chemical analysis has proven them to contain lethal amounts of synthesized aconite mixed with an unidentified sedative.
Wow, these guerrilla marketing campaigns sure are getting crazy.
Ooh.
Can't believe Goldfish got into an SCP article.
This mixture, along with stomach acid, is also present in small amounts within the air inside SCP-X.
Okay.
A wooden crucifix, along with stakes made of the same material.
So that implies that the goldfish were used to kind of knock people out, like kind of drugging them.
Well, lethal amounts of synthesized aconite. I imagine it was also meant to kill them. So a series.
Sorry, I just got hung up on the sedative part.
So a series of partially consumed instances of the family Rhaphidorophidae. Footnote, please.
Hang on, go back up to it.
Colloquially known as cave crickets.
Hold on, I want to see if I can science that name. Can you point to it again?
Go for it.
Rhaphidophoridae. Yeah, Rhaphidophoridae. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
A plastic syringe containing medical-grade anesthetics, containing trace amounts of neural tissue, which possessed slight reality-warping properties.
Ew.
Ooh. So, Addendum X-2. Shortly after SCP-X's discovery and subsequent containment, a test was performed involving D5075 in hopes of better understanding what is located within the far corner of SCP-X. A transcript is as follows.
Okay. A D-class moment.
I'm going to say we got a script, but
it's not a script.
Yeah.
It's a short list of things. I can do it for you if you want them.
Go for it.
1325. D5075 enters SCP-X, immediately proceeding towards the far corner of the room as instructed prior to the beginning of 1326. D5075 reaches her right hand into the space, moving it throughout the area for several moments. D5075 attempts to pull on the object to no avail. The item appears to be anchored in place by unknown means. 1328. The results are gathered and D5075 exits SCP-X. 1330. The test is concluded. Oh, that was kind of lame.
Okay, well maybe it's like hidden in here because it's like antimemetic. Maybe we're missing something.
Sorry, I have too much D&D in my brain. I'm just imagining they're trying to pull the object. They can't. There's like a riddle above it they have to solve. Answer my questions 3. If it is this object you wish to free. I'm sorry.
Okay. Closing statements. D5075 reported the item within the space to have a leathery and flesh-like texture in most areas, though some fabric commonly found in clothing could also be felt. She also claimed it to be cold to the touch. Attempts at locating the previous owners of the house containing SCP-X is ongoing. That should be our ongoing, I think.
Yeah, it would be our ongoing. So, my thoughts, and I'm not going to be too harsh on this because it's not finished. You obviously submitted it for criticism, so I assume this isn't the final product. You're going to add stuff. But aside from a couple of awkward wordings and a few things that could be expanded upon, I feel like the SCP is kind of missing a central theme. There's not really a story being told. You know what I mean?
Well, I think there is, but I'll let you finish this because I think I've figured out the mystery.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. There's clearly a story in place, and maybe it's something you still need to add on to. Like, I see where you're going with this sort of religious cult kind of thing, but there's not really enough information to really, as of right now, get me invested. You know? Like you grab me for a moment with the goldfish and the hammer, and I'm like, oh, where's this gonna go? And then the other addendum is just someone walks in, pulls on an object, and then they leave.
Well,
and I don't know.
well, let me.
Yeah, go ahead. Of course. I mean, I'm not experienced. You're the one who might know better.
What I think has happened here is that there was a reality bender here with this religious family.
Reality bender is not a part of the 4 tribes in Avatar.
Well, this one is, and I think
Okay.
someone killed someone here. I think maybe they killed the reality bender, or the reality bender killed them. And because he's a reality bender, everything's got fucked up inside. And this reality bender is the other person that's been mentioned there, the male humanoid figure.
Okay.
And
do you think that the person who killed him was the Laura lady, or what was her name? Sorry, or person of interest, rather?
Witnessed it.
Okay.
But because when he died, he's fucked everything up, made it himself anti-mimetic, so even though she's witnessed it, she has no memory of it.
Okay, so
and his body is the object in the corner.
It's a murder, and to protect himself, he used his reality powers to sort of fuck you.
Well, I don't know if it's voluntary or just a side effect of him dying.
Are reality benders like just a thing in the SCP universe? Are they extremely rare? Are they some sort of organization?
They are. There's a few articles that are reality benders. There's reality bending cactus in one, so it's basically a thing that can happen to different.
So it could be anything, but they're like just human people that. I mean, I guess they're anomalous because they're reality benders, but they're not necessarily SCPs. They're people with power.
Well, usually they do end up as SCPs. Oh, Hex, it says I got it.
Yes. Well, there you go. Okay. So yeah, I feel like there could be more added. I see now. Tan did a little bit of a job explaining it to me.
I went to my mind palace.
You went to your mind palace. I don't know. I'm not trying to be harsh to you, Hexek. I still think it's perfectly good. I'm just trying to give you criticisms to work on, because I would hate if we're like, let's create your articles, and then all we do is compliment it and nitpick grammar stuff.
Sorry about the notification sound there. Someone just subscribed to the channel. How embarrassing.
Oh my god. Why don't you fucking mute your YouTube?
I guess we're gonna have to start another live stream as a celebration.
The narcissism, his brain expands like, I swear to God, it's filled with so much hot air.
How dare you? Look at this shot. Anyone can take your job now. Who wants to be the new Darnell? Hands up.
Wow. But yeah, no, Hexek, I'm not trying to knock on you. I was just trying to give you some criticism. I hope I come across that way. I feel like there could be more meat to it. I mean, maybe I'm just not smart enough, because Tan seems to be satisfied with it as is. I would add a little bit more, particularly to Addendum 2. Maybe drop a few more hints in the description. But because most of the story right now is basically Addendum 1, and then Addendum 2 adding a little. The description doesn't really, it just kind of sets a stage a little bit for it. But if you could pound that in with some more details or some more clues, that would lead us to the events of, or not the events per se, but the sort of stuff scattered in Addendum 1. I feel like that would add a lot to it.
How dare you, Love You?
What?
Love You in the chat has called me Stinky.
Stinky! Uh-oh.
So Mortal Glare also has a good explanation of reality benders in the chat there.
Tan, did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said.
I just wanted your opinion on that, if you agreed or not, or what you had to say.
I'm going to be honest, I feel like Addendum 2 already does enough for me with the closing statement saying the object has a leathery and flesh-like texture with some clothing fabric, and it's cold to the touch. Okay. That was enough for me to sort of get dead body.
Okay. All right, well, if you think it's fine, I mean, Tan's more experienced with SCP than me. I do a little bit of writing, but I'm not as familiar with the wiki, so I would take his judgment over mine, I suppose. But you have my opinion, at least, if it's worth anything. But, yeah, otherwise, I think it's fine.
Yeah, so let's just go back and have a look, like, it's a few sentences that popped out to us. So, like I said, the house within which SCP-X is located.
Yeah. Kind of shores it up a little bit, makes it a little less awkward to read. And that's one thing I think that's helpful. A lot of writers know this, but they forget to do it. Is just read the thing out loud and see how it sounds out loud. Because if you're not familiar with what you wrote and someone reads it in their head, that's how it's going to come across in their head anyway. Very helpful. So just, it helps with those little things like the within which.
Yeah. Okay, so...
There was a couple other things you pointed out you didn't like that I thought were, like you said, change amount to number in description.
I don't know, it just, amount just, the word didn't quite work for me. Let me find it. Amount.
Noticeable number. It's right there. I told you. Second paragraph, first sentence description.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Notice number would make it have alliteration. Noticeable number. But I don't know. I feel like that's not enough to affect the quality of the article as a whole.
That's probably me. That might be me trying to apply my own writing style to it.
Yes, that's very common when I edit stuff. Is sometimes I get that urge and I have to hold myself back and be like, no, I know that's just.
I would change I would agree with Google here and change in varying degrees to 2 varying degrees, though.
Yeah. So just some little grammar edits throughout, which is normal when you're writing up. So nothing to feel bad about. Just
I might leave a footnote for ontokinetic there, just to make it clear that that's a reality bender. Just because Darnell, for example, if I hadn't told him, he would have no idea what that meant.
Yeah, but to be fair, Tan's making me go through an order. I'm only at Series 2. There's a whole bunch of terms I don't know yet that might be a lot more well-known in the SCP community.
Yeah, I just mean
But I guess, yes, if you wanted to make it noob-friendly, put something that makes it clear it's reality bending. What else? This isn't even a note. You don't have to edit this, but just I was curious if you would make a name like Layla Jennings like a censored name or not. I do notice recently, or at least in any new article I've seen, the censoring's way down, which is a plus for me always, because I hate when there's like too much censoring for no reason. Yeah,
censoring has died a slow death.
I could see the desire to protect someone's identity. And it's not like her name's brought up a single other time in the article, so it's not even necessarily plot relevant.
I would just leave it, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, but that's just something I noticed.
Yeah.
What else?
Taking into account
fine to me.
SCP-X is unstable reality. That seems like a bit of an awkward word to be unstable reality. But I don't. The problem is I don't know a better word.
Could you even word it like the nature of SCP-X's unstable reality? Given the nature of SCP-X's unstable reality, several abnormalities are present within it, which may or may not have been caused by alteration.
Hello, Mount Whitney.
Did you hear what I said? Are you just looking at the chat, ignoring your dear friend Darnell? Dan?
Yeah, no, sorry. I just saying hello to Mount Whitney.
Yes. Hello, Mount Whitney.
So yeah,
maybe I should get out of the screen share now that we're not actively reading it, and then I can interact with chat too.
What's stopping you from interacting now?
Android made a good point. The desire to protect identity is something ethical companies work with. This is the SCP Foundation.
Very true. Very true.
We have an ethics committee, guys. They're super serious and good.
They are super serious. Remember, we're in their orientation. They are nothing if not serious.
I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of redactions, too. I just brought it up because it was something I've seen in previous articles. I feel a little like a fish out of water here because although I write a good bit, writing for the SCP Foundation is a whole different style with its own tropes and little gimmicks that I'm not as familiar with. I've only read SCP Series 1 and 2, and then Tan drops on me that by 5, they become more like books and scientific articles. So, I'm totally a fish out of water here. So apologies if I'm not as hot. But I agree with you. I do not like redactions as well. I've complained about it several times on the podcast when I think it's too excessive. Like with the camera girls, I feel like they were we couldn't know her birthday really. That was such a big deal.
Didn't they redact the first 2 numbers of the year as well?
Yeah, and we know she was born in the 1900s. So dumb. Thank you, Tanhony, and no problem, Hexic. Okay. Yes. Looking at this too, overall, Tanhony seems to like it, which is a very good sign. I would trust his judgment over mine. I still liked it. I just would have wanted a few more details, maybe because I'm thick in the head, so I didn't pick it up as quick. But overall, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10, as is.
I'd agree with you there. Okay, it's a solid article.
Yeah, not bad at all. Curious. Maybe Tan has. Oh, it's called Lost. Never mind. I was going to ask what the article name is. But I'm stupid. It's Lost.
Okay, so shall we move on to the second draft?
Sure, if there's nothing else we need to comment on this one. Hopefully we were able to help you, Hexic. We always love having you, seeing you in the comments and around. Oh, look at Hexic. See, he's noob friendly. See that, Tan? You don't have to. Tan says it's fine, but I would appreciate it as a dumb. Things that make you feel like you solved it in your head, but really the writer kind of led you there. I always find it's good writing.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the rest of this.
Yes. I am also American and Tan's British, so maybe he's more used to subtlety than me. I mean, have you ever seen our version of Kitchen Nightmares? It's not very...
So let's get to the second draft here, which is called X
Zattlers.
which I believe Hitari wrote. Is that right? And that was your a previous name you had online. So
hey, we see Hitari. He's in the thing. Hello, Hitari.
Yeah, I'm speaking to him.
I know, but I mean, he said, "Oh God, no." Hey, you submitted the draft. You signed up for this.
It doesn't matter. Just send me as a Twitter DM.
DM Tan on Twitter. Yeah, it's probably the best way to do it. I was gonna say put the link in the chat, but Tan doesn't want.
So Hitari, just because the title is what your previous username is, I'm curious. Does the draft have an actual title as well? So, Dr. Whitney, welcome to the live WriterBot Festival Celebration comments. What you're looking at now, we're going through some drafts.
Yeah. See, Mortal Glare has an interesting thing. I don't know if that would work if Layla was just the one who witnessed it, but the idea of her coming in and out multiple times might lead a little more to something fishy. Perhaps as someone who took part in these rituals, if that's the corner you wanted to go with. Oh, Dr. Whitney asks a good question, Tan.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but what exactly is Live WriterBot Festival CelebrationCon?
Well, I was answering, but
Oh, sorry.
So I was saying this is the Live WriterBot Festival CelebrationCon. We're reading through some FC pre-drafts. Once we're done with them all, we're gonna get some writing on, do some writing of our own as well. We're just going to basically have a good time for as long as we can.
And we're doing it, when we write, it's going to be separate from Crystal Bird, right? Because that's part of our another series.
Crystal Bird's
okay. Yes, and this was originally in celebration of 100 subscribers, but now that we're so far past the milestone...
This is now also the 200 subscriber celebration.
Yeah, so it's kind of become awkward. Hang on, Hitari said computerized cognito hazard. Where's that at? Is that in the article?
I since I haven't started reading yet, but let's get into it.
Yes.
So we're not going to change anything until we get through it. So let's see.
Except for in that first sentence where access doesn't have 2 C's. That's going to drive me insane.
Well, we'll get to that. So item number SCP-X, object class safe, special containment procedures. SCP-X should be kept on a PC without access to the internet or any other means of communications to other devices.
Tan, please fix it. It's going to drive me insane.
Okay.
Please put the second C in there for me, bud.
Anyone contaminated by SCP-X should immediately report or be reported to a researcher. The contaminated
wait, what happened?
What?
Oh, I was watching the YouTube stream. That's why I didn't see fix it. Now it has like 3 C's.
Oh.
Whoops.
Anyone contaminated by SCP-X should immediately report or be reported to a researcher. The contaminated, hereby known as SCP-X3, are then to be sealed in a 5x5 meter room. Well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know what SPX 1 and 2 are yet. Always in second, we're very open to doing this more often if it's something people enjoy.
Could you please remove the 3rd C now? I was watching the stream before, so I didn't realize you fixed it the first. Perfect. Thank you. Dan?
Sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, apparently Hitaria sent us the wrong draft as one of a ton of star mistakes. If you have the corrected version, we're happy to accept that.
Yes, we can look at that. Just get it over to Tan as quickly as you can, and we'll go through that. Yeah, see, Hexic was with me. Access being wrong was bothering him. That's just because I'm insane about typos. I'm glad I'm not the only one. That's not an insult on you, Hitari, at all. It's just a personal, like, I when I see it, I want to fix the typo immediately.
Okay. Tori, you mentioned that the sandbox draft is fixed. I don't know how to get to that. Could you shoot me a link?
Yeah. Good. Pop us over a link.
Oh shit, we'll be having some downtime. Entertain them quickly.
Calm down. It's a live stream. You know, we have a group of people to interact with. They're here to watch us. They're very nice, which is very nice of them. I'm sure they won't freak out if there's a couple minutes of silence. I don't plan to be silent, but I mean like a couple minutes where we're not editing something. Dan, that's not a solution. It's just typing access.
They love it. Look, they love it.
Here, see, your average annoying grammar guy would correct one person. I'm getting a pentakill on grammar correction right now with all these people misspelling access.
Okay. Yeah. Can you DM me the sandbox link and we can just have a look there.
Yeah. Also, I'm more used to looking at things on the wiki, so that's a nice format too.
And we also
have
a...
T3BK also sent it. It should be in your Twitter DMs. I hope you have a way to open Twitter without like popping up your Twitter feed on the screen.
I just opened it up, so apparently I do.
Okay.
And we also have a third draft now of a tale from Dr. Munid, so we're going to get to that last. So let me just put that in our little folder we've got for the live stream.
We've got quite a thing going.
Yeah, people love it. They love me. They love us.
Yeah. You notice how he says me first, folks?
What?
You see the hot air going
I'm
to
sure
his head?
that if you listen back to the recording, that will be gone.
I don't remember which episode, but if you guys have kept up with the podcast, I swear there was one where Tan like said something wrong, and I made fun of him, and he said the video will show us, and then I watched the video, and he fucking edited it, so it was the right thing, and it was like obviously edited, like he spoke over it, different volume, like no background noise.
Hexic, that is correct. That is Darnell's wiki.username.
What is Darnell Jermaine? Yes, this is me. Yep.
Yeah, so there is the link. Thank you, Hitari.
Ooh, money, crime, and disruption. I can't see.
Well, we're going to
get
get to that one last, but here we are.
Wait, I need to go to... Sorry, it's right there. I keep looking at the freaking YouTube thing instead of the Discord screen share.
You don't need to be in the Discord stream with the YouTube stream with these
Copy of money,
creatures.
crime, and discord. Yes. Okay, so Hitari is what it's
Let's
called.
go.
Oh, is this based... So is this an SCP based on you yourself, Hitari?
I think this
Or
is just
is your name
Hitari's
from the
sandbox.
SCP? Okay.
So
I don't know how sandboxes work.
So item number. Love Viewers also sent me a tale, so I'll read through this first and I'll get that.
Focus on one at a time.
Okay.
Focus on one at a time.
Item number, SCP-X. Object class, Safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-X should be kept on a PC without access to the internet or any other means of communication to other devices.
Tech SCP! Tech SCP! Yes! I love the video game one we did the other day.
Anyone contaminated by SCP-X should immediately report or be reported to a researcher.
Oh, do you think it's some kind of like anomalous virus?
Oh, maybe. The contaminated, hereby known as SCP-X-3, are then to be sealed in a 5 by 5 meter room.
Okay.
Yes, Wilbur Wagons, we are still allowed to submit drafts. Do it either through Discord or through Twitter, whichever one's more convenient for you.
Yes. And if we ever start getting into the meat of the article, and you have questions, Henzoid has been here since the beginning. He can probably help with like telling you where to DM Tan.
I like how you just increase Henzoid's workload very
well, apologies, Henzoid. Well, I'm just trying to get you to like read more than one sentence at a time.
Okay. I'm not going to look at chat for the next minute.
Yeah.
So you better not insult me. In the event of a containment breach, anyone contaminated by SCP-X must be isolated from any means of communication through devices with access to virtual communication, including but not limited to mobile phones, computers, and laptops.
So
I wouldn't capitalize those.
So you're right. I would agree with you. So it seems like, guessing, because I love to do this with special containment, it seems like an anomalous virus, it can infect people, and whether it infects a person or an object, it infects anything near it too, not just like how viruses work where you have to download them. So that's kind of cool, if that's what it is. I'm getting really hyped about this one. I'm excited. All right, so description, right?
So description. SCP-X is an HWP file. Darnell, could you enlighten us what that means?
All right, so I know I said I was a cybersecurity manager, but I'm going to Google that.
I can't believe this.
You
fools in chat. There's a delay on the stream. I am now looking at chat and I can see all your insults.
HWP File Association 2. An HWP file is a document created by blah, blah, blah. It's a Korean word processing application. Okay, so it's like Korean Notepad.
I see.
So shall we continue?
Yeah, sorry. I was taking the opportunity to get the next draft.
You are so... One thing at a time, Tan. Oh, you pulled Discord up on stream.
Did I?
Yes,
Tan. I don't care. So after downloading and opening SCP... by the name of Meshpoly A12. After downloading and opening SCP-X, symbols that had not been identified in any currently known language will appear on the affected screen. These symbols are known as SCP-X1. Once these symbols...
So we know what one is, at least.
So once these symbols have manifested onto a device, they will begin to manifest inside SCP-X-3's retina.
Ooh, that's a really cool physical detail. I like that.
Yeah, Killer Queen has now entered your eye.
Well, I just like when it's not so much that it's overbearing with description, but it's enough that it kind of adds a cool flair to the article to visualize. I really like it.
So SCP-X-3 will begin to see SCP-X-1 during the rapid eye movement stage of sleep. During this time, SCP-X-1 will begin to form into SCP-X-2. SCP-X-2 are bleeding, highly disfigured, and emaciated humanoid figures. After approximately 3 days after the incident, this period varies per subject. The entities, or SCP-X-2, begin to manifest to SCP-X-3 while they are awake.
So I'm a little confused. Is it the symbols that turn into symbols of figures, or is it saying the person infected becomes a highly disfigured, emaciated
I
humanoid?
think that the symbols become the figures.
Okay.
Yeah, it already did have inspiration by Killer Queen. I was just joking.
I love Killer Queen. I love JoJo's in general. So well played, Hatari. Well played. You get points in my book.
So the average human may survive 2 days during this phase, while humans with stronger mental health may even destroy the SCP's attempt to overcome them, especially after being made aware they can survive.
Okay, so this is interesting because usually an SCP has a sense of it is vastly stronger than a person, but this is kind of like an anime-esque willpower type deal where if you have the will to fight, you can send it away like Guts getting the ghosts out of him. Kind of cool.
That's quite good, yeah.
Y'all know I love some anime tropes.
Whoa, so if SCP-X-3 does not have a
yes.
strong enough will or mental health, SCP-X-3 falls under the control of SCP-X. Once SCP-X-3 is under the control, I would uncapitalize the is there, under the control of SCP-X, it will attempt to spread XP-X's file to as many other potential hosts as it can. During this time, X-3 will refuse food and water. X-3 are known to use force in attempts to spread X.
So more than a virus, it's more like a worm.
I would say
with that,
something that is popping out to me quite a bit is that there are too many X-1-2-3.
Yeah, I would that is a little annoying. If there was like maybe the first time you introduce each number saying hereafter referred to as a much shorter thing like SCP-3 or SCP-1.
To be honest, I don't know whether the symbols need to be their own SCP-X-1. They can just be called symbols.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe just shorten it to 1 and 2, make 3 2, make 1 1, and then just say after a while the 1 figures will turn into the humanoid.
To be honest, I think symbols and the figures of corpses don't need to be sub SCPs. They can just be symbols and corpses.
I totally agree. Lowering it, so make it 1 and 2, make 3 2, and then destroy the 2 you currently.
I would say SCP-X is the file, and then -1 is the infectee.
Yeah. It'll make it less confusing, too, because remember, there was that struggle we had for a while where, like, is it the symbols that are changing, or does the person change?
Yeah, if you're very...
It gets a little confusing.
You're introducing a few too many sub-SCPs too quickly, I think.
Yeah. And that's a problem that we had when we were doing the Crystal Bird the other day. We kept trying to add too much going on at the same time. Keep it simple.
I don't think it's exactly the same problem. It's just more the way it's referred to.
Right. That's true. Well, we also don't know, based on the description, if the figure even does anything. We know the symbols. That symbolizes they're infected. 3 means they're infecting others and taking over. But, like, once they become figures, nothing really happens with that. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't have any specific effect. It changes image.
Okay, so addendum, blank.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So blank / blank. I don't... Well, if you want censoring, at the very least, I would uncensor the first 2 numbers of the year, because I feel like we can assume it was this century, because computers went around prior to that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would probably, maybe put the first 2 numbers of the year. That makes sense to me.
So far, any attempts to remove or delete SCP-X from the affected device, I think affected should be with an A there, have resulted in device crashes and the pasting of SCP-X's file on the device screen. So far, concluding that it's impossible to avoid SCP-X once it's been downloaded on your device.
I wonder who spread this. I wonder if it was just some sort of script kiddie or hacker that was accidentally created something anomalous, or if it was born from the internet itself. There's kind of an interesting implication behind the fact that it puts itself on your computer and can't be stopped, you know?
Cedro in the chat, I would love to have a look at one of your drafts. You can get to me either via Twitter or on the Discord. So we have a script here. Which one do you want to be?
I want to be the S.
Okay. And I will be Dr. Tanho.
Ooh, hit the return.
I can't remember which one Dr. Tanho is. There's too many variations.
It really doesn't matter, because they're all just your voice at higher or lower pitches.
Oh, yeah? Well, how about I'm going to change it up this time, then.
All right. Set.
Are you ready for the interview?
Yeah?
Good. Let us begin, then. Do you remember your encounter with SCP-X?
Do you mean the PC? Yeah, I remember that.
Can you remember of anything unusual that you experienced?
That sentence is kind of a little weird. I think it should be, can you think of anything unusual? Tan?
Well, yeah. Continue.
Oh, sorry. Well, never mind.
No, please tell me. What did you remember?
These abomination, monster, demon-like things. Okay, so this is where I'm wrong, where the humanoid figures come in. It seems like they're finally coming into play in the addendum. They came to me when I was sleeping, wandering around. They were waiting for me.
Were they always like that? I'm so sorry, Hitari. I'm just trying to do the voice that was least suited to me.
No, they were identical to the symbols in the file I was told to open. Oh, so someone told him to open it. That's interesting.
Well, I assume that this is a D class and they told him to open that, maybe.
Oh, I'm stupid. Right.
I see.
Never mind.
Anything else?
I guess not. Wait, am I going to die? I'm going to die, ain't I?
You are completely fine. I assure you.
You liar! You're lying to me! I know it! Very 0 to 100 on
Yeah, I wouldn't
part.
do all claps in the log. Maybe just italics if you want to express that you're shouting.
Yeah, it comes across as very early 2000s.
Also,
although that could be the style. Also, there's no closing statement.
Yeah, I would just get rid of closing statement if you're not putting anything in.
Or maybe this thing is supposed to be the closing statement at the bottom, but it isn't in the box.
Yeah, it seems like the quote block is a bit messed up here.
But let's continue.
So SCPX. So I apologise to so Mortal Glory is pointing out that is both Scottish and South African. So I apologise to both the Scottish and the South African people.
Never apologize for a crappy accent.
I just did, so it's too late.
That just means you're a coward, unlike me.
Okay. So SCP-X-3's sudden hostility is presumed to be caused by a lack of sleep. Is this Dr. Tano? Is this a different That's Dr. Tano. Promptly requested the interview to be ended as X-3 showed no signs of cooperating any further. It shouldn't be capitalized there. X3 was found dead inside of his cell. It appears he was clawing at the door in an attempt to breach his cell. Further resources will be ongoing to investigate the cause of this.
Well, it seems obvious to me, the reader, that he probably died to these figures and he got trapped in the room. He couldn't escape.
It seems strange that they didn't witness this.
Yeah, you think they would have a camera in his cell, right?
It's like
a Jeffrey Epstein all over again.
It's like they just found him.
Yeah, they're like, oh shit, we didn't put a camera in the cell or any sort of observation for the thing we're observing. Whoopsie. It would be, I think, more impactful if it was something metaphysical that they couldn't see. If the Foundation's like camera inside the shell showed nothing other than signs of, him struggling, appearing to fight off something, and then collapsing, with injuries appearing on his body. I think is more meaningful than just when we arrived, he was dead. If that's what you're going for. Personal opinion.
So let's get to.
It's always very awkward when I give an opinion and Tanhony doesn't answer.
No, sorry, I'm thinking about the article.
It's fine.
Okay, and also there's a second interview here, so let's get to the second script. Is this Dr.
Should I do the SCP again? I think so.
T-A-N. Yeah, this is Dr. Tanho still.
Yeah, I can match your voice if it'll make you feel better. Because this is a new -3, right?
Okay, you want to try the voice?
Yeah. Hello, are you ready to be interviewed?
Yeah, not like I have a choice.
Do you remember your encounter earlier this week?
You can't do this. Do you think I'm dumb or something? It was only 4 days ago, you 4-eyed egghead.
What? It would appear we're getting nowhere with this in the interview.
Fucked up.
So is this the same -3, or is it implied that other people infected share the memories of other previously infected?
I think this is a maybe they share memories. So SCP-X
because that's what a worm would do. A worm is like one like internet entity that spreads across other things and eats and reproduces itself.
So SCP-X-3 at first. So there seems to be an issue here. So every time there's X-3, you capitalize the word after that. You shouldn't.
I think what it might have been is he was writing on his phone, and then the autocorrect after puts the capital. My phone does that sometimes after a number.
So was deemed extremely hostile due to lack of sleep. However, on the way back to his cell, he attacked the site staff escorting him. He was attempting to break into a researcher's office. It is known that this was an attempt to access the personal computer in the office. The site staff promptly detained SCP-X-3. He was found dead in his cell, the same circumstances as the previous test subject.
So there are a couple of quick notes.
Okay.
One, I do like that this implies that maybe he was desperately trying to get back to the computer to give information back to whatever infected him. I like the setup for this infection and how there's a couple of ideas we can kind of brainstorm or headcanon for ourselves as to how it started. One thing that I wish, that I really feel like this article is missing a little bit, is it specified in the beginning that some people with a strong enough will can overcome it. So to have a test log where there was a target that overcame it, and to see how they react afterwards, whether they had to be fed amnestics or whether it like changed their personality, would have really added, I think, to the emotional impact of the article, rather than these guys that like start panicking after 3 sentences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these interviews are very short, which isn't a problem if you're trying to...
Yeah, and then they escalate very quickly. And normally, like, seeing the test subject freak out makes sense because the agents are harsh. But this guy's, like, just asking him questions, and they're, like, losing by sentence 4. But I really feel like having someone who does overcome it.
Yeah, maybe a third case here.
Yes.
Would make
Otherwise, as is, I'd probably give it a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's got a good premise. It needs some grammar edits. It needs a little more meat on it, like maybe with that third addendum. And like Tan mentioned earlier, cutting it down from 1, 2, and 3 to just 1 and 2.
Yeah. So
but otherwise, what
there
do
is
you think?
there is potential here. Yeah.
I agree, and I do like these more like technologically related SCPs. They're very fun.
Yeah. So maybe tying back in that you can overcome it if your willpower is enough. Maybe we can see an example of that, and that can maybe glean some more information about what exactly this anomaly is.
Yeah, Hitari said he was writing on Notepad, not his phone. My bad.
Okay.
Hitari said he was Scottish, Tan.
So well, I apologize.
Probably
I already apologized.
Cedro also pinged you saying he wanted you to look at his draft.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people wanting us to look at drafts. How many do we want to put a hard limit on this? Because I mean, I've got a decent amount of free time, but I don't know if I want to do like a 10-hour stream or.
Well, we're not doing a 10-hour stream.
Do we want to put like a hard limit on the number of drafts we'll look at in order? And what you could do is you could save the leftover drafts for a future stream if people want to see this again.
Well, we're not been that long anyway, so I think we're still fine for the moment.
Yeah, well, we've been here an hour, is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
It's not that bad yet, but like setting the limit ahead of time so we don't end up doing this.
Yeah, so we're gonna
You know what I mean?
let's say 6.
Okay. 6 your time?
No, I mean 6
it's like 9 your
drafts.
time.
You fool.
Oh, okay. I'm stupid. Right, because you still wanted to write things as well.
Yeah, well that we can take or leave, but
Of course. Would it be super highly unprofessional if I went and got a drink of water real quick?
go ahead. You can do it.
Okay. You entertain the.
Hello, everyone. Hello. How's it going? I had an interview with Dr. Sumerian a couple of days ago. I assume everyone here knows about that. I assume that's where everyone came from. It was a fun time. Got a possible interview on my channel with another SCP author coming this weekend. So hopefully that'll be popping up maybe Saturday or Sunday. Probably Sunday because we have Discovering SCP episode 16 coming up on Saturday. So the next few days is kind of booked. So it's yeah, so there's a few if it's a tale, there will be some kind of work limit, so you're not going for like half an hour just reading it. Well, it depends on length. It's from the SCP Cafe here. So yeah. So hello, Dr. Whitney. So it's good to hear that you've been around for quite a while then. So good to have you. Good to have everyone here. So Darnell's actually been gone for a while now. This is longer than I was expecting. Oh, Darnell's back.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, well, Zed, welcome to the channel. Apparently we're one of the top-rated new pages, Zed said, so holy crap.
Nice.
Nice! Gamer moment! Alright, do we know what we're doing for the third... Oh, hang on. Azama asks, you guys use Notepad to write SCPs? I know Tan does.
No, I don't.
Every single... Yeah, you do. You use Notepad when we were writing the chicken.
That's just for the chicken. And that's
Oh,
WordPad. And that's not even
Oh,
WordPad,
whatever.
that's like LibreOffice. It's an actual word
Whatever.
processor.
Who cares? You're so lame. You're mega lame.
I can't believe it.
I thought you used Notepad. You told me you used Notepad.
I never said that.
Well, everyone else uses Notepads.
No, they don't.
Everyone in chat's been like, "Yeah, we use Notepad," and then you're like the outcast. You're like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Let's get to the next draft.
Sure. What's the next draft then, bud?
So the next draft is by Dr. Moned. It's a tale draft.
Ooh, fun.
And
we haven't done a
it's
tale
called Money, Crime, and Disruption. Let's get into it.
Money, crime, and disruption. I like it. Yes, let me go to the not the YouTube. Let me get to the Discord so I can actually see. Yes. Ooh, it's in the UK, so it's in your home territory.
So Portland, UK. I get a feeling that this is going to be a bit of a blast for you.
Is it? What do you mean?
Well, just the fact that it's in Portland, but don't worry about it.
What's in Portland?
Don't worry about it. So that's outside the sun was rising.
Do I need to look up? Do I need
It's
to
fine.
Google
It's
Portland?
fine. Don't worry about it. It's raised steadily bathing Portland in a honeyed glow.
Okay, so this already isn't actually in the.
Two masked figures sat in a small country bar. The outside wall adorned with ivy gently waving in the sea breeze. A blanket of silence only punctuated by the creaking wooden sign depicting a gold crown.
I like the adjective used so far. Very pretty.
So when Tan doesn't notice the name initials, what have I done? The name
CMCB.
Oh!
I don't get it. What's MCD?
So I think we've run into the term Marshall, Carter, and Dark very briefly in one SCP we've read.
I don't remember that. What is it?
It was very briefly. We'll introduce that properly in the next episode. So
interesting.
So
all right, so you're right after depicting a gold crown.
So any news? The voice came from the tall man on the left, an imposing figure with an equally imposing voice.
Oh, can I be the other guy when he talks?
Sure. The reply was from a man far from home, a rough, slow drawl at odds with the scene.
The insurgency seems to be preparing for a Foundation raid. Not sure it matters to us either way. Hang on. There was something else. Ah, yes.
He continues.
The Foundation seems to be planning an MTF raid into one of MC&D's storage warehouses. They have an instance of Tempesto 2 stored in.
Phaedrus thought for a second. I will take the wolves again. We need some more exercise.
Could to see you getting back into it,
replied the Canadian, a grin tugging at his face.
So I guess Canada's what they meant by across the sea, which makes sense because it's in the UK.
So Sarah, the current server, headed over the table to take the bill. Despite it being early, these men weren't an unusual occurrence. They seemed to like watching the sea whilst being left to relative privacy.
Oh, they're just like us.
They're filming their own podcast.
Except replace the sea with watch together and privacy. I guess it is privacy. It's you and me watching Kitchen Nightmares.
So interesting fellas, though, she mused, looking out the window. Turning back, she saw the larger of the two staring at her with his head cocked.
Oh, God!
She gave a little yelp and tripped over a buckled wooden floorboard that she had completely forgotten about in a brief moment of shock.
I love the word buckled. Well played. Whoever wrote this, I really like the word usage. Like, how you keep it mixed up and how kind of... I really like... Because often with the words you use, you kind of set a tone. And I really like what they got going on here. It's kind of playful. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, a half-empty pint flew over, just missing her head and landing right in her lap. Mortified, she looked at the men in the corner. As the larger of the two stood and went to walk over, she tried to scramble up. A hand came into vision. I think this is you?
Oh, sorry. You looking like you be needing a hand?
She accepted it gratefully, and with the help of the Canadian's firm grip, she wobblily... Is wobblily a word?
Wobbly is a word, but he spelled it wrong. It shouldn't have the first L in there. It should be wobbly. Sure? Yes.
Okay. So the other figure walked over to the tab that lay in a puddle of beer from the spilt pint. He brushed it off and placed it on the table along with a pile of coins before turning to leave. She noticed him pointedly ignoring her, as well as her mistake, and frowned. She watched as both men exited the door. Thanks.
Thanks. Oh.
She hollered at the Canadian.
We're both women on this fine day.
Well, you have been calling me Tanny for some reason, so I don't. You did.
I called you Tanny. I called you Tanny one time
and
on
someone
accident.
in the fucking SCP Declassified Discord called me it again today, so I don't know what you've started.
Well, maybe it's just because you're adorable. Have you ever thought about that, bud?
Thanks. So...
Sorry for the trouble, Machete.
No worry, my friend. The stocky Canadian shouted back, flipping something towards her. She caught it by instinct. A small silver coin lay in her palm with the letters AV etched onto its face and ringed by a series of notches on the edge.
That's my class ring from when I was in the audio-visual club in high school.
Wow, badass. Before you could shout a farewell, they were gone. Shaking her head, she pocketed the coin and went to change. Probably the most exciting thing that would happen to her for weeks, she supposed.
Wow, what a boring fucking life. Holy shit.
Oh.
The most exciting thing is almost falling and a dude helping you up and then tossing you a coin.
It was a bit... Not, to be fair, that's pretty... that's a thing that happens only in media.
I guess,
but no one tosses you a mysterious coin. Okay,
that's fair. The mysterious coin does kind of add to it.
So, Ulcan City, no answer. I like that.
Ooh.
Phaedrus donned his Kevlar vest, followed by a slightly tatty leather jacket. The rest of Wolf Iron Squad watched on, their expressions unreadable underneath their caps. Today was a plainclothes operation. They didn't want MC and D raising the alarm too soon, could bring the Foundation down on them faster than planned.
Oh, so this is a group that's not only aware of the Foundation, like they implied earlier, but that is... It's almost like they're planning some kind of heist, is what it's like.
Ocean's 13.
Yeah.
Percy had said there was a chameleon on the other side waiting. They had a lodestone set up already. Glancing quickly at the rest of the walls for confirmation, Phaedrus placed his hand upon the linked lodestone, twisted the watch dial to the 90-degree position, and pushed.
Liverpool, UK.
So a brief feeling of his stomach being left in the Aether later. There was then a dingy... I think dingy doesn't have an E on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Hang on, you're cutting out for me. What's going on?
Does dingy have an E in it? I'm not sure.
I don't think dingy has an E in it. Maybe that's like an alternative spelling.
Yeah. So poorly lit room besides an identical lodestone. WE-1 carefully walked to the door, opening it slowly, the hinges recently oiled. They seem to have arrived in a storage shed within the perimeter fence of the warehouse. I would say seemed there. Keep the past tense. Guards were posted up the entrance to the main compound. Presumably...
Well, if you change it to seemed, then make it they seemed to arrive rather than they seemed to have arrived. Because arrived already implies the past tense that you're looking.
Well, they seem is still present tense, so it doesn't matter.
Right, but it should be, if they change it to seemed, then it should be they seemed to arrive.
No, then arrive is present tense. You're just switching which one's wrong.
No, but think of that sentence out loud. They seemed to have arrived sounds wrong.
That's fine.
No.
It's fine.
No.
Listen to the chat. Chat, isn't that fine?
No, Tan's just wrong.
Now we wait 17 seconds for the chat to catch up and tell me I'm right.
Well, you have to admit that sometimes you're a little, like, once you think you're in the right, you can be a little stubborn.
But I am right. This seems to have arrived. This seems to arrive is just switching which of the two words is the present tense.
They seemed to have arrived. It's just not right, though.
It is right.
Honestly,
what? Chat's gonna tell me I'm right any second.
This could all have been prevented if he just wrote "they arrived" instead of "seemed to have."
What do you mean, no?
If he just said, "I told you."
Hold on, maybe someone else will tell me I'm right.
But you're wrong.
I'm right.
No, you're not, dude. Again, also maybe if you want to prevent this mix-up, just put "they arrived" instead of "they seem to have arrived."
Love you. You would say anything to say I'm smelly, and you've not said I'm wrong. They seem to have arrived.
No, that doesn't sound right. Think about it out loud. It's so weird.
What do you mean?
You're like a fucking Westworld robot glitching out right now on your language parameter. It's not right.
How dare you?
This is what breaks up the podcast.
Fine. We'll just leave the sentence. We'll just leave the sentence. Don't call me Tanny.
I didn't call you Tanny. What the fuck?
The chat did.
That's how they refer to you condescendingly.
Fine.
No, but what you should do to edit to prevent Tan from having a meltdown is just they arrived. Just they arrived. That will prevent the loss of future friendships.
They seem in a storage shed within the perimeter fence of the warehouse. Guards were posted up the entrance to the main compound, presumably to cover the MC&D trucks as they fled.
See, my friendship with Tan is so strong that we were even able to overcome they seemed to have arrived. Right, Tan?
Yeah. All right, WE1 and 2. You take...
Should I be worried?
You take the entrance on my left and clear it out. I will take the small entrance ahead nearest the warehouse. WE3, you're on Foundation Watch. I'm not called Tanny! Oh my god. See, 6-6 Oyo. It's because I'm British. No. I can't help it.
Yeah.
It was
Are you gonna keep reading, or are you gonna get hooked up on chat and let them tease you?
Okay, so 3 eyes. Switzerland kept aim back.
I.
Was that Agent Michaels I hear?
Yeah, he's a part of the heist. He's their spy on the inside.
As he started to advance towards the brickwork, he peered slowly past the corner, then swiftly stepped out. A sharp jab to the nose of the first as he rounded the corner to disorient. H&K P30 shoved up to the guard's chest. Bang.
It's disorientate.
Sorry.
You said disorient.
I'm sorry, you've thrown me off.
You're so easy to rattle, I love it. This is why you're my guy.
The shot slightly muffled by the body, but not enough. Phaedrus dropped to the floor. I hope he didn't drop the floor. Bullets flying over his head for a second.
Oh shit! Phaedrus dropped the floor, guys, we're falling!
Before he
also, can I just note that Phaedrus is the most badass name ever?
I know.
I love it.
It's a good name.
I'm naming my son that.
A brief scuffle to his left was heard, before a slight crunch cut it off. Phaedrus stripped the guard off, shrugging on the uniform. A voice came over the headset. WE3 here, we have a problem. The Foundation started the raid early. There's a squad headed your way. Phaedrus cursed, grabbing the Glock and its spur ammo from the fallen man. Roger that. We are waiting near the warehouse now. He heard a loud engine getting steadily louder. The truck rumbled past, no more than 2 meters away. He pondered a second before speaking. WE1 and 2, you able to take out the driver and 3 remaining passengers? I got the other 2. The reply was fast.
Sure thing. Looks like easy pickings.
Phaedrus headed towards the warehouse, picking his way past hastily discarded boxes. Perfect. A small brick wall sectioned off a load of crates. He sat and patiently waited.
Can I just stop real quick to say this is actually a really exciting tale, like all our distractions aside. So far I have like no suggestions. I mean, maybe when I finish it, but I'm just really enjoying. It's a great piece of prose.
So just under a minute late, should be later, you heard 2 guys advancing towards his hiding. What do you mean? It's for here for crit. I mean, if I'm not gonna.
I know. I know. It is something that needs to be crit, but it's just funny because it comes across as you trying to redeem yourself, for they seemed to have. Just looking for
redemption. He took a quick look. One looked like a trainee, the other one he wasn't sure. They'd probably expected an easy smash and grab. 3.
Are you actually upset, Tim?
I'm not upset, I'm fine. 3, 2, 1.
1. That's just us every time we watch a video together.
He let off a burst of shots from the Glock, one scoring a direct hit on an unknown shin, the guy crying out in pain.
There's something poetic about the phrase unknown
I was going to say, yeah.
It's kind of dope.
Killer Game, they seems to have arrived. That's right. Within 2 steps, he closed the gap, smashing the gun barrel down on the MTF's head. Twisting the arm of the man up as it reached for a holstered pistol, he dislocated the shoulder. This is me with you right now, Darnell. As the guy struggled to free himself, exposing his weakened headgear, Phaedrus took the opportunity.
I thought I was Phaedrus, so wouldn't this be
a quick shot in the back of Darnell's head through the broken helmet finished the job.
He's just gonna ruin their prose for your petty vengeance.
I'm sorry, it doesn't say that. A quick shot into the back of the head through the broken helmet finished the job.
Yeah, that's what I did to Tan, by the way.
He turns to the second guy. Click. Shit, he was out. In a moment of pure stupidity, he chucked the empty gun into the air. The unfortunate MTF's eyes followed the arc of the pistol.
That's like something they do in an anime. Who sees someone throw their gun and then like takes their eyes off the target they're shooting at to see
it's not voluntary. You do it automatically.
No, but
because you're seeing an object suddenly fly up. It could be something that's going to hurt you.
I guess, but that just seems like an anime trope I've seen a couple of times. Not that I hate it necessarily, but
I have to admit,
it takes a little bit out of the dark grittiness of the
I did
article.
see the MC do this in Demon Slayer.
Yeah, exactly. They also did it in Mirai Nikki and like 1,000 other anime.
So the unfortunate MCF, I would have said that, rookie mistake. Faye just grabbed his knife and shoved it into the guy's earpiece gap with a wet squelch.
Oh, that's gross. Being stabbed inside your ear?
Yeah. A brief look of surprise passed over his face before the body slumped to the floor.
The ear is made for whispers, not daggers.
My two are down. What's your situation?
All are neutralized. 1 dead, 3 completely lights out.
Okay then, I see the truck we need. Number plate TR15 MCD. Meet you there. A quick shot through the driver's window with his Glock, painting the inside a deep crimson red. Faye just grabbed the doorway of the truck, yanking it open, a body tumbling out, viscera coating the seat.
Wait a minute, how'd they get a gun in the UK? Question.
I guess it's anomalous. Faye just brushed the seat off, wiping his hand on the driver's coat. I got the van
bad.
I got the van secure. You almost here?
Yep, we see you. Just hop in the back.
Phaedrus heard the clank of the door shuddering shut. He waited till the noise died down, then quietly edged the van out the gate and onto the side road, effectively
Oh, sorry, continue.
Effectively avoiding the Foundation and bulk of MC&D's force entirely. It would be hours before they realised the van was gone, hopefully, and they would likely blame Foundation forces.
So is it the van that they were stealing, or was their real goal just to do a hit and run?
I assume there's something in the van that they're stealing.
Yeah.
And
Honestly,
they're sort of using Foundation raid as a cover for whatever they're doing.
I was very thrilled. It was an exciting read. It's something different than I would expect from SCP. It seems like more something you'd read in like a mob story. But I don't know. I really liked it. It kept me hooked. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I'm sure there are little things you can improve. A couple of grammar notes, but like honestly, I really enjoyed it. Who wrote this again?
It was by Dr. Munnard, who is T3DK in the chat.
T3DK. This was a very fun read. I can't wait to see future parts of this, and I hope you post it up.
Yeah, very cool. I wouldn't enjoyed this.
If our podcast wasn't hinged on the idea of like me reacting to the first time, I would love to do this on the podcast. This was a fun read. I liked it a lot. T3DK, you get my Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award.
Yeah, so that's something they mentioned at the start, which was Tempest 50 or Tempest 2?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
So I guess that's what they're trying to steal, Tempest 02.
Yeah.
They only mention it once.
Okay, so yeah, I enjoyed that as well. It's quite good. I'll definitely
very fun read. Loved it a lot. I like Phaedrus. He's like my favorite. I hope nothing bad happens.
Yeah, he's a fun character to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got our next, and our next is a tale, I believe. Yes. This one is by Love You, who is in the chat, I believe.
The problem with the name Tanhony is that it gets autocorrected to Tanhoney, which gives me very different search results. True 66 yo. Very true. A lot of people keep calling you Tanny now because you overreact.
Well,
also, finally, Hatari is like, he's like, wow, he's threatening Darnell. For £1 a month, you can stop Darnell abuse.
It's fine.
Thank you.
It's fine. He loves it.
Thank you. Finally, you guys see he shoves me around.
He loves it. Don't worry.
Treats my opinions as lesser, and when I criticize him, he shoots me in the back of the head.
I would never do that. I would never do that on the stream.
You did it just 5 minutes ago. Thankfully, I was wearing my bulletproof scalp armor, so it didn't work. Oh, this looks really short unless the display is huge.
It scrolls down.
Is this the completed article? Because this looks like the Sandbox Wiki, but there's a rating module.
I think that's just part of the... so they can just copy and paste the rating module as well.
Oh, okay. So should we read the display excerpt first? So,
T3DK, I would probably wait on that because Darnell doesn't know about the factory group of interest yet. We're going to get to that shortly in the podcast.
So real quick, is the display excerpt what you already have open?
No, that's this. So
okay, so should we do that?
So the following is an excerpt.
Wait, real quick. Who wrote this?
This is by Love You.
Love You. Oh, Love You too.
Boris!
Wait, Boris is here?
Boris!
Everybody stop what we're doing. Yo, King alerts. King in the chat.
Mission control.
King in the chat. Where's the crown emoji? I need it. crown.
We will get to your article in a few minutes, love you. We have not abandoned it, we're just saying hello to Boris.
Sorry, this is important. Your article is too, but I just mean, like, every time I see Boris, I get so happy. Okay.
Okay. Hello, Boris. So, this one is called Lizard the Big Weird Dog. So the following is an expert of a single test from experiment log 682 involving SCP-053 and SCP-682.
Oh, we're going all the way back. 682 seems to come up even in Series 5. 682 is still around. So I guess this is just one people are always playing with.
Yeah, he's a fun thing to play around with. I've done it a few times.
Yeah, because he's he's basically like the equivalent of a car crash test dummy that never breaks.
So item number SCP-053. I like the people in the chat that don't know who Boris is, so we just started freaking out for no reason.
Boris is a very long-time fan of our podcast. He always comments on our videos. He was the first person to actually call me Darnell and not just Tanhony's friend. He is a very treasured member.
And he's still the only person.
We really appreciate you, Boris. And you guys should look out in the future. We may do a collab with Boris, so look into that.
So,
but yes, is this real quick? Is this a tail or an SCP?
This is a tail, I believe.
Okay, so this SCP is just to kind of give you an introduction.
So item number SCP-053, tissue test record, no answer, overridden by 05 command.
Do I need to know what 053 is?
It is the little kid. That's
the girl!
So I believe
the one that like he actually got along with, right?
Yeah, so I believe that is just a copy and paste of that log here to give us the context.
Oh, that's so cute. I loved that. I was so glad.
So let's get to the actual story. So,
yes,
on April 23rd, 2013, a proposed revision of containment procedures involving SCP-053 and SCP-682 was submitted to site administration. Theoretical means to lower human resource costs on site were suggested by the document, focused largely on decreasing the frequency and severity of SCP... You okay?
Sorry to interrupt, Tan, but Hensworth said something funny in chat. He was quoting you saying, "I've done a few things with 682. Yeah, play it down, author of fucking 5,000.
What can I say?
What can I say? Oh, God, I didn't tell you guys when he won the contest, like, the whole next 3 days, like, he made us and all his friends call him Mr. 5,000.
I did not. It was a joke.
The height of ego. He was like, call me fucking Mr. 5,000. So I started making fun of that, like, mushy comment he made. What's going on?
Just saying hello to Baradell in the chat.
Oh, hello. Where are they?
In the chat. Perfunctory.
What? Perfunctory. Hello, Perfunctory.
So
Beryl Dow from the IRC chat here. Don't have any drafts, just want to join.
So, see you, Hashari. Good to see you. So, theoretical means to lower human resource cost on site was suggested by the document, focused largely on decreasing the frequency and severity of 682 breach attempts by cohabitation with SCP-053.
Oh, so is this... Because remember, in the original test, they're like, let's see how we can use this to contain 682. So I take it this tail is an expansion on using 053 to contain him.
So suggested protocol relied largely on previous cross-experimentation data with exposing the two anomalies to one another, which recorded a sharp decrease in agitation from SCP-682 when entities were housed together.
Interesting.
Proposal included a detailed blueprint for a cohabitive containment unit able to accommodate SCP-053 while keeping 682 adequately contained against breach attempts. The greatest roommates in the world.
It's like the start of like a really shitty college movie. It's like with an opening theme, just fucking the little girl ghost and the giant lizard in the bunk beds.
Security standards.
Did you guys have the bunk beds in your college dorms too, with like the desk underneath, and you had to climb up the little ladder?
So security standards proposed for the on-site facilities neighbouring the containment area were engineered for minimising potential site damage in the event of 682 breach, with the layout of the facility and its safeguards being further maximised to improve the ease of 682 recapture and return to housing with 053. On May 6, 2013, proposal was passed forward from site administration to the 05 Council. 05 Council approved the proposal for a 24-hour trial application on May 14, 2014 with a 5-4-4 vote. Surprised they could get away from Cassie research long enough to do that.
Yeah, I imagine they'd be pretty booked with Cassie, considering every little thing they've got to do for her.
So preparations were made over the course of the following weeks for the cohabitation facility of 053 and 682. June 10th, 2013. 0800. 053-682 cohabitation trail begins under the provision that any breach attempt on 682 parts resulting in significant structural damage to containment in the following 24 hours would result in the removal of both anomalies from cohabitive containment and the return to pre-existing special containment procedures. He's on probation, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a name we haven't come across too much so far.
Oh yeah, Clef. You said we were going to read about Clef one day.
I guess we're reading about him.
All I know about Clef is that one of my real life friends who listens to the podcast said we should look at Clef articles, and Tan was like, maybe later, smile.
So, what's my Clef voice? Let's see what my Clef voice is.
It better be cool because he's going to be a reoccurring character.
I know. I can't do Agent Michael's voice.
Don't make it. Yeah, just use your normal voice, but like slightly lower pitch.
Slightly cooler.
Yeah, like I never. Yeah, just do like one of those. Like, I certainly never thought.
Well, I certainly never thought we'd actually get to see the day, Clef commented and leaned against the desk in the back corner of the room, smiling as he sipped his coffee. In the rare way he sometimes did, Clef was telling the truth. Perhaps it didn't suit him, or perhaps the souring face of the researcher tapping away next to him was due more to the fact that Clef's ass was parked on the corner of the desk. Who cares? A bored beep toned from the entrance, immediately preceding the sound. That should be preceding, I believe.
Yeah, it should be PRE.
Yeah, the sound of a heavy lock releasing electronically. The door to the room clicked and swung open unceremoniously as a man in his late 50s flushed through. This can be you.
You're the one that was against throwing kids at the death alligator, if memory serves. Oh yeah, because there was a douchebag that was doing that, right?
Guest researcher Dr. W, the main villain of SCP. A gruff, succinct voice responded in a sort of dry tone that said it was solely in need of its 5th cup of coffee. It seemed Kondraki had decided to join in the occasion. No particular surprise there.
Just side note, I know it's just a tiny detail of the RP, but in general, I cannot understand people that drink multiple cups of coffee a day. I don't even drink one. Like people who are like, I need 8 cups of coffee. Like, are you killing yourself slowly? I don't get it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I just, it's okay. Just keep.
Normal kids, yes, it's a terrible idea, but 53 is not what you call normal. Clef had looked up when he heard the door to the observation room open and smiled at the familiar voice that followed, greeting the man that entered with his signature Cheshire grin. This was the primary observation room, of course.
Cheshire grin?
The one that was actually immediately adjacent to the new state-of-the-art containment chamber and equipped with a heavily reinforced one-way viewing window for looking in on the aforementioned containment chamber. The people crammed into every workstation here. The people crammed into every workstation here, taking final notations and frantically passing off system checks were, of course, not the only people on the site currently huddled around computers in observational rooms at the moment, wired into the security cameras feed showing all angles of the new containment area. All eyes were watching. All of them. Dr. Kondraki huffed like a grizzly bear and rubbed his hand all over his face. That's not why you're upset, though.
Shut up.
Oh, you're feeling snippy today. Clef frowned momentarily at Kondraki before passing his co-worker the extra cup of coffee he'd been holding on to. For you, smartass.
This is literally Tan talking to me every day. You're feeling snippy today.
Kondraki gave another little sigh but accepted the offering of something warm and psychoactive. The shrinkled man took a sip and then paused to look towards his shorter companion.
Irish?
Don't say I never did anything for you. Clef smiled again and watched a taller man settle in to lean against the wall next to Clef and sip his drink.
Wholesome 100 chungus.
Remaining dour despite the mumbled thanks. The researcher sitting at the desk again before pulling a paper from underneath the corner of Clef's butt, looking it over and passing it through a fax machine. Clef ignored them, focusing back on the subject at hand. While the noise of the room surrounded the two men, a small social sort of quiet had settled between the pair. Clef regarded Kondraki. He picked out his
quick, sorry for interrupting. I know Clef's a recurring figure. Is Kondraki or is he unique to this article?
He is also reoccurring.
Okay.
Clef regarded Kondraki. He picked out his next words quietly, speaking them into shape after a moment more of consideration. His tongue was careful and delicate about how the sounds were shaped in his mouth. He's gonna be fine, Connie.
You don't know that.
Well, he's yours, isn't he? Dr. Clef scoffed and leaned back on one hand, gesturing with his coffee loosely. Have some faith. Draven wasn't exactly Clef's area of expertise, but Clef...
What the fuck? Draven from League of Legends?
I guess so. But Clef knew plenty of his father. Enough to know that parental worry was getting to the elder Kondraki more than he'd like to admit to his son once this was all over.
I know he means elder Kondraki, like the older Dr. Kondraki, but I just like the eldritch monster Kondraki. The elder god.
From Clef's interactions, Draven seemed confident, competent and driven. A good kid. Good choice of leader for the transport team. This will make me feel like the impudence in a Jurassic Park. From what Clef could make of the containment transfer plan, the potential for breach during the pass-off was shockingly minimal. Once it came to being inside the chamber, that was another situation, but safeguards were in place, and if containment itself failed, then dealing with the fallout fell primarily to another team. Besides, the kid isn't nearly as impulsive a dumbass as you, at least from what I've seen, Clef shrugged. I'm sure he'll follow all the proper regulatory safety precautions. It's more than you could say in his place.
Wait, is this implying Draven is Kondraki's son?
Yes.
You have to read the sentence.
Oh, Kondraki blew a bit of air out his nose, relenting a nod. Draven was certainly better about following procedure than his father had shown in the past. I mean, he stays hydrated, right?
This kid's gonna fucking die by the end of this tale.
Yeah, this kid's fucking dead.
So many death flags are being raised.
I've never heard of Draven before, so he might be recurring or he might be about to fucking bite it. Clef met the glare that followed with an only mostly work-appropriate level of smugness in his expression.
Clef, if filing staff incident reports wasn't such a pain, I'd knock your teeth out about now.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Connie dear. Does it make me think of Tanny now?
Yeah, God, you're so narcissistic. Everything comes back to Tan.
Clef's smile was absolutely impish now. Why is Clef like you in this situation? But he didn't say another word for the time being. Clef just sipped his drink and leaned slightly on Kondraki's shoulder, turning his head to look out the observational window. Kondraki huffed and allowed this, focusing on a monitor that displayed a fuzzy live camera feed showing a team of 8 MTFs standing around a 5x5x5 crate. He watched one of the armoured figures speaking to a radio on his shoulder, and recognised the quiet, idle bounce of the young man's left foot. Looking down, Kondraki watched his own foot tap nervously on a tile. He sighed, shuffled his postures a little to lean quietly into his fellow researcher, and took another drink.
Liar.
As always. Clef watched through the window as a now evidently 8-year-old girl drew in lab coats and clunky hazmat suits. Sorry, that was a sentence got away from me there. As a now evidently 8-year-old girl drew in lab coats and clunky hazmat suits onto the characters of a Dr. Seuss book with crayon, messily munching on a bag of pretzel crisps and taking occasional sips.
So she's aged, because in her original article she's 3.
Yeah, it's nice. It took them 5 years to.
Yeah, well, remember they said it would take a while to get approval in the original test.
Yeah. And taking occasional sips from a standard Class 3 plastic liquid containment vessel. Can we not say, like, cup? Her feet kicked around in the air absently as she laid on her stomach and doodled.
I do kind of like that, though, the SCP Foundation being too much with their scientific, like a little jab at the older articles.
682 was irritated. Draven could tell that much. He also knew that was pretty normal for 682, and that this level of irritation was probably fine based on the structural readout of the containment transfer crate, so he wasn't too worried about it.
Draven is so fucking dead by the end of this tale.
Yeah, R.I.P. He told his father not to be worried as well, though he knew his dad was too stubborn to listen and too proud to admit anything like fear. They had just gotten the all clear to proceed with final transfer steps, and so Draven directed his team to push the large crate slowly against the wall, locking it into a closed gate.
Is Draven also a recurring character? Is he a one-off?
I don't know.
Because if he's not a recurring, he's definitely dead.
Yeah. So not unlike backing a semi into a dock at a warehouse to be loaded and unloaded, SCP-682 registered a slight increase in agitation, scraping and shifting at one of the walls. The final locks were flipped in place, securing the door of the crate against the wall. Draven reported successful secure connection to the wall port. He heard reinforced metal creak, the sound of hissing and liquid splashing around in a box. Dispatch directed his team to proceed, and so heavy-duty levers on either side of the crate were cranked down, lifting the door on the crate which laid flush against the wall. Then, after a few more confirmations, the dock gate opened and Draven heard the shuffling of a large reptile squirming its way out of the box and into the new containment area.
It's you first, I think.
I hope you realise how stupid you look for being worried.
I hope you aren't going to be like this all day, Clef.
You should set more realistic goals. The disgusting idiots were moving him. He knew that much. Heard muffled speaking behind the sound of his flesh peeling and stripping and regrowing. What the fuck was this even for? Did they want him to be a lab rat for some new test, while they sat and cowered on the other side of their boxes, taking notes as they brought him into some new way to suffer? 682 snarled and circled in the cramped box, scratching at the wall, testing the reinforcements with strikes of his tail. He could get out of here given long enough, but these kinds of boxes were always temporary. They never kept him in one long enough for him to adapt a way out. Disgusting cowards. The door to his box opened and revealed another wall. He growled and readied himself to slaughter whatever was on the other side of that wall. Safety horns went off and the wall began to raise. He bounded out as soon as he could and did not expect what he saw. This new room was nice. It was bigger and the bed was softer, and there was a big play area and a closet with costumes, and she had already constructed a pillow fort, and really it was just very nice. She thanked the scientist who brought her there and gave them a hug before they were pulled back out the door with a big rope.
That's right, she's friendly to people as long as it's not a group of people, right?
I don't think it's anything to do with group, it's
No, it was in her thing, like with one person she was fine, but with like three she got mad.
No, she doesn't get mad, people get mad at her is the thing.
Oh.
She heard growling at the wall after a while, and that was pretty scary. Then the wall opened up a big square, and a big scary dinosaur came out and knocked over her pillow fort. No!
Wait, doesn't she already know him? They met before.
She was like 3, so maybe she forgot.
Fair.
She was scared at first, but the dinosaur didn't seem to move a lot, so eventually she got brave and went over to pet it. The dinosaur spoke after a while. It said he had met her before when she was a lot smaller. She said she was sorry because she forgot, but it was nice to meet you again, big scary dinosaur. The dinosaur said his name was SCP-682.
Oh, I love how they spelled it. That's so cute.
And she told him that she was called 05 Tree, but she didn't like the name very much. Did he like his? 682 said his name was given to him by disgusting cowardly creatures who stain the world with their very existence. 05 Tree's name was given to her by scientists, but she agreed that she didn't much like her name very much either if it was given to her by mean monsters. She offered to give 682 a new name. So I can you take over a second, because I've been reading for a long time.
Yeah, I got you, fam. She's calling 682 Lizzie? Junior research assistant Dr. Felix Hossack raised an eyebrow. He was amused, but understandably skeptical. It wasn't uncommon for gossip to get hyperbolic among the Foundation's lower clearance level. Yes, devourer of site staff and rampaging murder beast, Lizzie the Lizard. But hey, at least the kid gets to have a pet now. Juniper Lovett smiled and shrugged. It's a Kita-class SCP item, not a dog. Arguably the most cartoonishly dangerous one that we have clearance to know about. Dr. Silverman gestured with his salad-laden fork. The junior biology researcher raised a good point. Well, apparently he's responded positively to belly rubs from her, Juniper replied, looking rather smug. Basically a big reptilian dog now as far as I'm concerned. Lizard the big weird dog, which makes her Emily Anomalous. Bullshit! Messiah Silverman cried. He's the Messiah now? Isn't Lizzie the class pet from that kid's science show they let her watch last week? Oh, wait, whoops. Isn't Lizzie the class pet from that kid's science show they let her watch last week? Felix asked after a brief pause to swallow his bite of sandwich. Juniper's face lit up at that. Oh my god, she's mixing references. What an inspiration. It had been a nice day. It had been a nice day. 682 did not feel frustrated spending time with the small child, like he did in every other scenario. He understood that the child was a hated thing as well, one that had suffered like. They were alike in that. He had attempted to break out a few times anyways, to find out where the disgusting researchers were watching from, and find out if they had hurt her as they had him. This had, however, frightened the child, so for the time being, he allowed himself to be decorated with a too small cowboy hat and appreciated how oddly pleasant and relaxing it was when her tiny arms hugged his scarred, scaly back and demanded to be carried around. Eventually, the child grew tired, yawning and rubbing her eyes with tiny fists. 682 lifted the child carefully in his teeth by the back of her shirt and carried her off to bed. Oh, my heart! Placing her gently on the mattress and circling the bed once, twice, 3 times before curling around her in a protective little ring. She grumbled and stretched across his back, using his body like a pillow. Soon the girl was fast asleep, as was her new protector. Then we have the beginning of a new date, but, oh, it just says it was confirmed successful. So this is a wholesome tale, Tan?
Yeah.
Oh, this makes me happy. This is my headcanon. Draven didn't die. They're happy together. Why didn't they do this forever ago? This makes me happy. Tan, you know what this is, right?
Right. This is your new headcanon?
This is wholesome Keanu Chungus 100 epic style.
Badass.
This is an 11 out of 10. Who wrote this?
This was by Love You.
Love You. I love you too, my friend. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
One, not you. No, kidding. But one thing, though,
Okay.
Tan, and I hate to be that guy because I know you want to do 6. We've done 4, but I'm like kind of starting to get worn from articles. If we could change it up for a bit and maybe do. You mentioned wanting to write.
Okay.
I mean, we can keep going if you really want, but it's I would just hate to not be paying as much attention or give worse feedback because I'm like kind of out of it. We've done like 4 big ones in a row.
Well, I'll do a little bit of writing then.
All right, can I get some water real quick again?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for giving me permission.
Shall we write an SCP, everyone? Let's see what we can do. Item number SCP-XXX Object Class Safe Special Containment Procedures. I would say it seems ready, Love You. Yes, I would say that the Clef and Kondraki and Draven perspective does seem to just sort of disappear, so I think that should come back in towards the end.
I actually, yeah, I do like 999. I mentioned using 999 for. I just came back. Sorry, Killer. I saw you mentioned 999. I would have loved to see when we read Abel if they put Abel and 999 together. Take away his anime edge. What does truculent mean? I guess neutralized truculent means no longer a threat.
Truculent, I don't know what truculent is.
Is that a word?
There's an
truculent means eager or quick to argue. Oh, they neutralized his eagerness to argue or fight.
Under the cover of, I need a reason for a hotel to get abandoned, like a reasonable excuse, like
fumigation.
But that's not permanent, though, is it? I need a reason that no one can come back in.
I know.
Unsafe
I'm trying to think
building
of the wording.
conditions.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know the word, but like a wrong code, like electrical wiring done wrong. That's usually enough to evacuate and possibly just permanently put off a building if like there's bad not insulation. You know what I mean? When they do the wiring wrong, that's like a huge safety hazard.
Foundation.
I'm sure there's an actual building. Just look up building codes that would. Here, I'll look it up because you're streaming.
Yeah, I don't need the specifics of it.
Let me think. No, I can help.
But I'm not going to put it in anyway. I just want a reasonable excuse.
I'm not going to fight you on it if you don't want it. We'll just go in.
To maintain the cover of an independent security company.
Wilbo said truculent means that the object class can vary.
Okay.
This chat is pretty fire, actually. I'm really happy with how active everyone is. I wish I could see it more, but because there's a delay on stream, in order to keep up with what Tan's writing, I have to be in his Discord screen share, or else I'm like behind with everyone else and don't really know what he's writing.
Let me just check it. So, yeah, okay. Let's resume. I was just checking if I had received any PMs. Yeah. In order to keep guard over assigned to the property. Individuals who have survived exposure to SCP are to be monitored in their public lives, and body parts recovered from
so that implies there's going to be some sort of lingering effect to people exposed, rather than something that can be done away with an amnestic or a termination.
And the body parts kept in cold storage.
Oh god.
Any testing involving SCP-AX.
So before you keep going here, what do you intend to call this SCP?
I haven't got a name yet.
Right, so it's a hotel of some kind. Exposure involves something that makes people's bodies come apart or die, so they keep the body parts in cold storage. Cleansing room. So it gives them some kind of leprosy, maybe, because they survived, so they're monitored, but their body parts are kept in cold storage. Very weird.
Must be authorized by
level 4. Level 4, or is it like an 05?
No, not 05. It's not that important. By
Level 4.
A member of by research head Dr. Let me think of a random Dr. Lester.
Dr. Tanhony.
No. By project head Doctor. Give me a doctor, chat. Give me a doctor.
Strickinson.
Okay, Strickinson. Well, I have to wait now because I've asked the chat, so I can't just take someone else. I can't just take yours. I have to wait for the chat to give me one.
Yeah. I'm so alone. Yeah, chat, say Dr. Strickinson. It's a good thing to say.
Oh, they're busy coming up with object classes.
Object class Dark Keter. I love Dark Keter. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I thought of it much before I put in something. I probably wrote that article just to have something to put Dark Keter in.
Henzoid says Ozid. Most of these are just object classes.
Yeah.
Let's give the stream more
Dr.
time to
Ozid.
catch up.
I like Dr. Ozid. Is this your
Dr.
fucking doctor, Headzoid? Are you Dr. Ozid?
Dr. Ozid Osbourne. Yeah, because if you move Zoid around, it's not an, what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's like a word that you move around. Anagram. Zoid is an anagram for Ozid.
I'm gonna trust you on this, Dr. Ozid.
Dr. Aaron Carter is a cool one. I like that name. Or is that a reference to something I don't get?
I don't know.
Yeah, he said that's his author insert. Don't use that, Henzoid said. Bill Ink. I like Ink.
Okay, well,
I also like Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter is just a very TV name. I really like it.
Let's go for Dr. Carter just for the moment. He's not important. He's not going to be mentioned again.
All right. Well, you still have it as Dr. Ozid. You might want to change
I've just changed it.
No, it still says... Oh, sorry. I'm watching the YouTube
You fool!
Damn it! I'm a fool! I'm a bastard!
Doctor is room 233 of...
Oh, so this is like The Shining.
Room 233 of the...
Actually, what was the Shining room number? That might be the same one.
I don't know.
Was the Shining room number? The Shining room number was 237, so very close. Maybe you could make... I don't know if you want to cheapen it with a reference, but like 237 is very close to 233.
Well, it doesn't matter. The room number isn't important. Of the... I'm trying to... So I'm getting like a Russian feeling from this hotel, so I want like a Russian name, but I don't know any Russian.
A Russian hotel name generator. There's a name generator for all these.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Well,
Russian hotel name generator. Right here, hotel name generator. None of them are Russian, but I can translate them to Russian.
they don't have to actually be Russian, just something that sounds like it came from Russia.
Echo Hotel. Brass Tundra
I like the Echo Hotel. The Echo Hotel in Moscow, Russia.
I definitely don't do that sometimes when I'm doing roleplay as well as a DM, is just have a bunch of name generators popped open and click them, because who would do that?
An individual enters S.
Wait, why do you have slashes over Echo? Does that like do an edit?
That's italic, so yeah. Enters the empty NCX. They will find themselves... Hold on, I'll just go from what's in the room first, actually. This will become the second.
I have noticed, by the way, Tan, a lot of your articles are on the shorter side, yeah?
Yeah.
So you think might just straight up crack the whole thing out on the podcast?
I probably, maybe, yeah.
Or not the podcast, sorry, the stream. Yeah, sorry if I'm quieting down a little bit, by the way, guys. I might take some time to just chat with, chat, because when I read too many things in a row, like without pausing, my brain kind of gets all clogged up, and it feels like there's a bunch of gunk in there, and I can't focus. It's the ADHD coming in.
The room contains...
excuse me.
How dare you? A king-size bed.
The Bear Vodka Bear Russia. Adidas Vodka. These are some great hotel names.
Contains a king-size bed. A writing desk. A mini fridge. And a bathroom. No anomalous properties.
Azamo made a good point. He said, personally, I wouldn't name a person.
Yeah, I was thinking that
I would say authors.
Let's get rid of that for now, then.
Yeah.
Might bring by the current project head.
We started streaming almost 2 hours. Holy crap. I don't know how people do this for like 5 hours a day. I couldn't. I get tired too easy.
A mini fridge. Let's not mention the bathrooms and not anomalous because that doesn't matter. Hence,
What
I
did you
don't
say?
often just a this case thing.
Mm.
So the room contains a king size bed, a writing desk, a mini fridge, and what else would this a nice hotel room have?
Writing desk, king size bed, mini fridge, maybe a nightstand with like a Bible in it. That's pretty common, especially in like Russia, Eastern Europe.
And containing a copy of the King James Bible. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, every hotel I've been in has one.
When removed from the room, these articles will return as soon as they are unobserved.
Well, that's kind of cool. I like that.
When an individual enters the empty SCPX, they will find themselves unable.
So in theory,
to
if you monitored these objects the same way SCP-173 is when testing, like you had people on watch, it could just stay out forever.
So when
As soon as you mess up.
Yeah. So when an individual enters the empty SCPX, they will find themselves unable to leave. In addition, individuals outside the room will be unable to enter or retrieve.
Oh god, that means the fact that they have these descriptions is someone like the fact they know there's a Bible in the nightstand. They've sent people in that are just still in the room.
No.
I wonder how packed that room is right now.
No physical barrier exists preventing exit or entry, but all individuals will simply be unable to bring themselves to perform these actions.
You know what kind of is interesting to me, actually, Tan? And this is just an opinion. I mean, it's your SCP. You do what you want. But I liked how you mentioned the objects stay out until they're unobserved, right? So what if once people enter, when they leave, as long as people observe them, they're fine. But as soon as they're alone, they just zoop right back in.
There's more to the anomaly gets a bit more complicated here, but keep that in mind, maybe.
Okay.
Sorry about the notification that my comment was just pinned by Dr. Sumerian.
Has anyone done a test where they like try to do a lasso from outside the room to pull them in?
Well, the
like,
thing
pull
is,
them back
you
out?
won't be able to do it. You couldn't bring yourself to pick up the rope and do it, is the thing.
No, someone from outside. A lasso is a rope with the circle at the end.
Yeah, but you can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't. Individuals outside the room will be unable to enter or retrieve the victim.
Oh. Well, they're not entering. They're lassoing from outside.
Or retrieve the victim.
I guess. I don't know. I just like them trying creative tests, even if they fail, like having an addendum where they try things. Then the reader isn't like, well, then why didn't they just do that? You know what I mean?
In case... I don't want to get too far into it there. Maybe expand on that a little bit. Okay, so when an individual... At the same time, an individual becomes trapped inside SCP-XXXX, a pair of scissors will spontaneously...
I thought it was the other way around, T3DK. I thought it self-inserts when you make the character like yourself, and an author avatar is just, this is the character that's represented by my authorness.
So at the same time...
it's compulsive. They cannot even try to do.
At the same time an individual becomes trapped inside SCP-X, a pair of scissors will spontaneously manifest on the writing desk. Footnote, if the writing desk is not currently in the room, they will instead appear on the carpet. The size and variety, the size and shape, well, not shape because all scissors are generally scissors shaped. Size and form, in specific form.
Hang on, I've been looking at chat. Let me go back to the screen to see what you've written up to now.
Depending on the trapped.
Is this going to be like they're out to commit suicide?
Well, maybe we'll get to it. Depending on the trapped individual.
I'm getting excited and thinking ahead for an article that hasn't even been written yet. Because I'm so used to doing it with finished articles. I'm guessing shit that's not even on the paper. But you know.
What?
When an idea jumps out at you that I say, feel free to steal it.
Consistently. How big would you say a pair of scissors is for like cutting your nails, for example? size.
Who uses scissors to cut their nails?
Well, if you were to, like small scissors, I mean.
Probably like 3 inches long.
At least 3. Is that imperial or metric?
Sorry, that metric would be, hang on, 3 inches to centimeters. It would be like 7.5 centimeters, 8 centimeters, give or take.
Once these scissors appear, the trapped individual will become aware that the only method of leaving SCP-XX is severing a specific body part using them.
Oh, so that's where the body part's having to be. So you have to sacrifice. That kind of reminds me of like that old Yakuza tradition where like you disappoint the boss, you have to cut off your pinky. Or does body part need to be of a certain size, like a limb?
I'll get into that in a minute. The specific.
Do they? My question, and maybe you'll write it in, but do the people inside instinctively know they must put up a sacrifice, or does someone have to tell them, Gaunt style, where
they just become aware.
wondering? Okay, so they know.
Body parts required to be sacrificed. Severed, I will say. Sacrifice is a bit unclinical.
I think severed makes more sense, yeah.
In order to leave SCP-X differs from case to case.
Imagine being the poor bastard that has to cut off his you-know-what.
However, analysis of different test subjects suggests
it's not necessarily a bad thing, Azamo, to take inspiration. I think sometimes writers get too stubborn in their ideas. Like they think what I brainstorm is the best. I don't care what other people think, and it can actually harm your writing. Of course, if you're always influenced by other people, then you lose your voice. So there's kind of a balance to strike up. But I don't think it's bad to get inspired by something and take that inspiration and do something with it, rather than just being like, no, what I said was right, and I'm not editing it.
I mean, that suggests it is based.
I actually have a finished tale. I'm definitely not going to submit it to the main site, but if I'm brave enough, I'll share it. Well, if you do share it, we'd love to see it, Perfunctory.
Based at least partially upon that individual's.
What's CorpseCon T through DK?
That is a competition that's going on right now on the SCP Wiki. So how it works
is that the thing Brett and them were talking about?
I think so, yeah. So someone writes a special containment procedures, and then it passes over to someone else who writes a description. Yeah.
Yeah. He mentioned, I think, yeah.
Past crimes.
That's pretty cool.
And moral what? Moral bad things. I'm trying to think of that word.
Azamo, not to plug our channel here, but we do have a how to write a tale video. Try writing a tale.
They're watching a live stream on the channel, so I assume.
Yeah, watch the live stream first, but I mean, it's definitely. No, it does have some good advice. I would encourage it. I think the hardest hurdle when starting to write something is just it's intimidating because you have a feeling it won't be as good as other existing material. But it's like I think of it like jumping into a cold pool. Like yes, it's annoying at first, but if you jump in, then after a few seconds you'll be fine. If you try to like tip your way in like your toe and then your foot, it's gonna be like hell on earth to get in. So you just kind of have to dive in deep and start writing, and then go back, edit, do stuff as needed, brainstorm. But you just have to jump into the pool. Do you think that's right, Tan?
Sorry, I'm writing. I forgot. So jumping into the pool, yes, with tails.
I told him this would happen. It's okay. This is my relationship with Tan. It's okay. It's a good thing he's getting invested on the live stream. You guys get to see the master. That's what y'all are here for. Oh, we'll see you around, Perfunctory. Here, I'll type it too because there's a delay. Take care, heart.
I will also.
Right underwater. Yeah, right under the pool. You have to finish your entire tale in one breath. Challenge.
More.
Let me go back to the Discord screenshot, see what he's up to. Cause he's been in the zone. Specific body part required. Oh, actually, not much has changed since I last checked. Over now, different test subjects is based at least partially upon the individual's press card. So it is kind of like Yakuza in that way.
Well, a little bit.
In that case, Tan, in theory, have the SCP like put like a baby, like someone who hasn't been able to commit a sin, so to speak. And like, is the baby able to come out because they haven't committed any crimes?
Yeah, there's going to be like someone in who is innocent and had to cut their nail.
Oh, that's all they had to do.
I'll
Nice.
put a footnote about it there. Footnote about nail.
That's actually that's smart. I like that. This is not even over, and I already like this SCP a lot. That just is a testament to how much I enjoy you writing. Very good. That's why I put up with all the abuse, because I enjoy Tan's company and his intellect. Even though he does beat me every day.
How dare you admit that?
Doesn't deny it. Yeah.
Shriveled unblackened, and the victim will become able to leave SCP.
So you mentioned they freeze the body parts. How do they retrieve them from the room if they can't take things from it?
Well, once the victim's able to leave, I can assume they can send in a drone or something.
They send in a what?
They can send in a drone or something.
So, but they couldn't use the drone to pull the people out?
Well, because the person's not in there anymore after that.
No, but I mean, before you were like, they can't retrieve people because something prevents them, but the body parts can be retrieved?
Well, yeah, the body parts aren't people.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I wanted to clarify that.
Following leaving SCPX.
I just love the idea of them like flying a fucking Walmart drone into the room. A little rope on it.
Additional symptoms, including elevated levels of generosity and altruism.
Oh, so they're literally cutting off the darkness in their hearts.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I really like that a lot. And that really goes along with the cleansing room, or like the purification or something. Wow, this is a really cool idea, Tan. I dig it.
Levels of...
I assume you're getting close to finishing up here, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of like a table of different victims that have gone in.
Yeah, as it is then, I think I would give this article a 9 out of 10 already. I really like it. It's not even finished. And I swear this isn't just like simping because Tan's my friend. You've seen me make fun of this man. I just really love his writing, and I appreciate what he brings to the table. Retrieve the PP of that one guy that had to cut it.
So we have the addendum here, which is the victim.
That actually would make sense if the body was genitalia after like some sort of sexual crime, or like the heart after a betrayal, or the arm after like assaults. Oh, that does make a lot of sense.
Following is a record of victims.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're thinking of abandoning your entry hex. I have heard some people complaining that some people aren't really giving the best things to work off of.
Apparently, Red got a really bad one, from what I heard.
Yeah, not like I'm trying to call out anyone, but I've just heard it doesn't seem like it's been the most fun contest for several people, which I can imagine, because the idea in theory is fun, the kind of telephone, but I think too many people like the idea of trying to make it as hard on the other person as possible instead of something fun to cooperate on.
Yeah.
It's kind of killing the challenge, which is just a shame, I think. I don't think it's out of maliciousness. I think people just don't think about the other person that they're collaborating with. It's tough.
Individuals who have.
But if you have other SCPs, Hexic, I did enjoy reading the. Which one of his drafts was the one we did? It was the house, right?
Yes.
With the reality.
I like
that. Was really fun to read. If you have SCPs, I would love to read them on the podcast. They're within the series as we're doing. And of course, as always, you're also another OG, so shout out to you. My conprocs were really vague and forced me to make a completely new goal.
Group of interest there, yeah.
Oh, group of interest. Sorry, I'm stupid.
Let's get a table in here. I fucking love tables.
I do too. I made one for our D&D game the other day, just for the freaking shopkeep. They're just really easy to put together.
I made so many tables. Like back 8 years ago or so, someone said to me, Tanhony, there's too many fucking tables in these SCPs.
I disagree, because not only are tables fun, but they give a more professional look, a more chart-like look to your article.
But it was like all my SCPs started taking on the same format of here's a thing, here's all the ways it works detailed in this table.
Yeah. Yeah, T3DK, I remember him talking about that. It was just stupid. I was like, wow. Also, Boris again!
Boris.
Good to see you, Boris.
I don't think
some
he
of the
left.
procedures. He said some. Yeah, but I didn't see him since we shouted him out. He said some of the procedures are just ridiculous. I do agree. I think the con proc was a well-meaning, but I would say, and maybe this is harsh from someone who's not a part of the wiki. Maybe I should shut my mouth on this, but I would say maybe not a failed contest, but definitely not the best one the wiki scene. But perhaps it could be reiterated with some concrete guideline of like, hey, collaborate, not try to make it hard on each other, fucker, or something. You did Hexic. Well, we're not getting the Series 5 for a while, unfortunately, but if you have some older ones, I would love to read them if Tan's willing to. He's the one who puts together the list, so it's ultimately up to him, but I would really love to read some, because I enjoyed the house one. And of course, like I said, you're an OG, so I would love to pay homage to you in whatever way I can. Just look at what Uranium Empire had to work with. Oh, poor Gumball. I actually, not many people know this, but I knew Uranium Empire a long time ago from an IRC roleplay. So, like, when I rejoined the SCP community when Tam was getting me into it, I was like, oh my god, I know you from, like, 4 or 5 years ago! It was really bizarre. But we haven't talked much since then. Yeah.
Darnell does not know about Thaddeus Yank yet. That's a bit further in the future.
What did you say?
I'm just, something that TVDK just said.
Thaddeus Zyank? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we've not got to that
Every
yet.
time... I have had many people now in my life, both online and in real life, tell me SCP things to look up, and I go, Tan, what is this? And he goes, we'll get to it later, smile. And I'm just like, all right.
So I need some...
Yeah, as much as... It's kind of a double-edged sword, because I really do love our podcast, and I have fun, but because of it, now for literal work reasons, now that I'm hooked on SCP, I cannot read more, because we have to keep as much fresh content to react to as possible. The podcasts aren't like scripted at all; they're all off the cuff, and we agree that adds to it. But because of that, I can't fucking read anything. It's really annoying. So the only SCPs we've read is everything on podcast, and I've read a handful of Tans from before we started. I used to always show them off every time he'd write one, so I know a couple of those. But that's it. That's literally it. All I. And of course, I guess the drafts we've gone over today. I think I talked about it in episode 1. Oh yeah, there was one other SCP I had read. I talked about it early on. Dragon Snails, a Dr. Wintertainment SCP. I really enjoy Dragon Snails. It'll always hold a special place in my heart. That is about the temporal department. It's really mind screwy. If Tan says you aren't ready, I would trust. I don't think Tan thinks I'm not.
It's just that it's further on in the series.
Yeah, I don't think he thinks I'm like not ready because. Like, I may not be a part of SCP, but I am a fellow writer, and I do also, you know, I'm not
a little
stupid.
bit there, Darnell.
I think he just, sorry. I am a writer, and I'm not stupid. I think Tan just wants me to wait because it's later on in the series. I don't think it's like, right, Tan? You don't think I'm, like, not worthy or ready yet, right?
Nothing like that, no. It's mainly just sort of...
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad the rain has stopped, Hexic. Do you also live in
Has
England
the rain
like
stopped?
Tan?
Oh, it has stopped.
It? Does he live in the same place as you? Oh my god, are you guys neighbors?
Wow.
Which one's been deleted? I don't think Dragon Snails has been deleted, Wilbo, if that's what you mean.
Yeah,
I read Dragon Snails like a month or two ago. When did it get deleted, Tan? Hold on. Dragon Snails.
I don't know.
That's bullshit if it... No, it's not. It's still on the wiki right here. SCP-111. You're freaking me out. I was like, my favorite article got deleted? Oh, Hexic lives in New York.
Oh, what a coincidence. So do I. Yeah. No, I don't.
He does not. So Hexic lives closer to me than you. So basically, Hexic and I are BFFs. You are the third wheel. Sorry.
D2291.
This is where I replaced the podcast. I replaced Tan with Hexic as my guide.
34.
Oh, he's too busy writing the table. I don't think he heard me.
I did hear you.
I will replace you, Tan. I hope you know this.
Index finger.
You should probably write something related to what their crimes were. Like individual arrested for X.
I want it to like kind of worked out just from the body part though. I think that's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That does add a level of like the reader headcanoning / implying. And someone who did something really like horrible, like betrayal, should have to cut out their own heart. So like the body part they cut out would lead to their death anyway, right?
Maybe.
That one's been deleted. My bad. You were describing something that sounded similar to another article that was deleted for plagiarism. I wasn't saying you were stupid. The temporal department's confusing whenever. Oh, sorry, T3DK. I didn't mean to imply that you thought I was stupid. I meant. Sorry. Sometimes I get wrapped up when I'm trying to make a point, and I keep adding onto it and like using synonyms and just keep like amplifying it to a point where it comes across.
I think I know the one Wilbur Waggins was talking about there.
Yeah, were they plagiarizing dragon snails?
No, it's a different article.
Yes, Hexic, you are now my new co-host.
What?
It's so cool, you know. Oh yeah, Uranium Empire. Reading one of her articles inspired me. Yeah. She doesn't have the most fond memories of that roleplay, so I wouldn't bother about it. But yeah, we used to be on the same roleplay, and we had like JoJo stand characters. It was really fun. It was a good time. And like 4 or 5 years later, I was like, I know that name. Except I think she went by Gumball when I knew her. But yeah, it's really bizarre for me because so Tanhony is kind of a big deal on the wiki. I guess I would say he's like a local celebrity. I never knew him that way. I also met Tan on a roleplay, and it was so bizarre the first time I was like talking to a friend, and I was talking casually about my online friend Tanhony. And you're like, wait, Tanhony who wrote X and X and X? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, dude, I love his work. And I was like, what? You know my random internet friend? And that happened a couple more times, even more frequently online. It's just really bizarre. Because I've never thought of Tan as like a celebrity. He's just a guy who never finished the RP he hosted for me. And subsequently ruined my life. Right, Tan?
Okay, back in the box.
He DM'd a really cool campaign, and right when I was at the end, he was like, sorry, guys, we're not going to finish this one. And I got so mad. He also started a cool space sci-fi series he didn't finish. And there was another book he showed me I don't think he finished.
Okay.
You guys are lucky on the SCP wiki. You guys get to read all his finished work. I've been tormented for years.
Sorry about the notification there. We just got a new subscriber.
Hey, wow, humble brag. Wow, what if we hit 300 midstream? Wouldn't that be bizarre?
That'd be crazy. Let's make it happen, guys. I don't know if there's anything anyone can do here to make it happen because you're all probably already subscribed.
Hello, White Guard. It's a pleasure to see you again, too. I've recognized you both from the comments, and I believe you greeted me on my introduction post, so thank you for that. That was really nice.
Yeah, nice to see you,
UE is great indeed. I haven't really gotten the chance to talk to her much since, but I would be happy to catch up sometime if she's free.
He became... What did he become? He became something nice. He did something good.
Public servant, civil servant.
But he's still got his prison history, so would he be able to do that?
Work at a non-profit. Volunteer work.
That's a bit too stereotypically nice, though. I want him to like. He's not.
I don't know what his crime is.
Yeah, but he's like because it's just his index finger, so he's not that bad, but he's better now.
Well, here's the thing. So you mentioned index finger, and I told you in the Yakuza, it's common to cut a finger off and then get cut off from the family and become a civilian again. So maybe he just became like an everyday guy that donates to charity, or maybe like he became a part of his church's choir or something.
And gained employment as an office worker. He became a normal guy.
Average.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stopped being a criminal, became an office worker. This chat knows what's up. Praising my friends Tanhony and Uranium Empire. One day you'll be praising my name when the crystal chicken goes up, and Tan gives me credit. You will give me credit, right, Tan? What?
What?
Our project, the Crystal Chicken, you'll give me credit on the wiki, right?
Who are you?
Oh, I laugh to hide the pain. This is how it will always be. Dynamic.
Exposure D9319.
Tongue. Oh, maybe he told lies. Many lies.
Significant.
Roger is the guy that wrote the. Oh, I don't want to spoil it because that's in the next episode. But but we read one of his articles. You'll see it on the next podcast episode, but I don't want to spoil it. Yes. Yeah. T3DK said Roger is following him on Twitter.
I thought Roger was in the chat. I was gonna say hi.
Yeah. I would plug my Twitter to you guys, but I like almost never post on it. I like sometimes retweet the Discovering SCP stuff, and then occasionally with some of the stuff going on. But like other than that, I don't really touch it. It's not worth following me. Just follow Tanhony instead, at Anthony. Here, I'll put it in the chat. At Anthony Shacklin. If you don't already follow him, he posts. I think rather than generosity, I would imply honesty if it's a tongue, right? Because the crime makes me think liar or deceitful person.
Victims of fraud. D43688.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Wilbo. Twitter is a place that I also don't touch much these days. Pain in the ass. At T3DK, I think they follow everyone from the SCP Wiki. They follow me too. Haven't gotten fully caught up on the podcast yet, but do you intend to cover SCP-3300 The Rain? I don't know. Tan organizes them all, and it doesn't let me know.
I would say probably that is, once we get to that series, I would say that's a pretty sure
well,
bet.
there you have it. Yeah, so at some point we'll probably be doing that one then. I would hope Tan. I mean, he said 3,300, not 3,000, but remember we went over 1,000. I would like to, at the end of each series, do the whole going over the 1,000 of the new series.
Yeah.
Like doing 2,000 because we did 1,000. I really like that take on Bigfoot.
Yeah, 2,000 is coming soon.
I don't have a Twitter. I don't really have a reason to. That's probably for the best, Fiota. I follow quite a few game devs on Twitter. I think I used to T3DK, but
both hands.
Oh, victims of fraud. That makes. Sorry, I'm looking at the YouTube stream version instead of the Discord because I'm talking to people. I don't know. I followed a lot of artists and game devs, and at first it was cool, but then my Twitter just got too crowded. What is DOMC content, Zoid?
That is a Department of Miscommunications, which will be coming on in the future, because it is, in the grand scheme of things, fairly recent.
Okay.
But I do have an idea for some.
It's so bizarre being in a thing like everyone's here because they watch our stuff, and you know all the stuff, and they know all the stuff. So you guys are all talking about these things that I don't know yet, that I'm not allowed to know.
I don't.
It just feels like it feels like being the third wheel when like your friend invites you to meet their other friends, and like you don't know anybody.
No worries,
exactly
no worries.
It feels like.
T3GK, I don't believe I've read 4894, so I might do that on the podcast. Yeah, we get ready for the first time.
You might want to screen it first, Tan, to make sure it fits whatever theme you got.
Yeah.
I would
probably will.
Yeah, I would love to read more. I've been telling people in a while on the podcast. If you have an SCP you want us to eventually check out, please comment it put it down in the comments, and would love to. Tan will look into it because I'm not allowed to, and he'll decide. I would love to read more like fan SCPs. I think that'd be fun. But again, that's all up to him. He's the one who has the most control. All I do is tell him like. Hey, turn your mic up, dum-dum. Hey, turn my mic up, dum-dum. And then he does the rest. Okay, so this guy actually did die. Or this girl, rather. D4388. I assume that's what expired means, right?
Yeah.
DED. By comments, do you mean DMs? Or I meant just commenting on the YouTube videos, but yeah, you can also DM Tan on Twitter, or is it fine to say DM you on Discord? I don't know.
Just ping me in Discord, really.
Yeah, honestly, if you're in our server, you can we can probably make a channel for SCPs you want us to read, and then Tan can go over them.
Yes, we will be doing geo formats at some point for later.
That is actually something we've thought about too in the future if we do a Patreon, so if we set something up like that to maybe make it like you can put your own SCPs in here. But that's not something we're not entirely sure on if we want to monetize this or not, or how far in the future that is. Yeah, just a little insight into thought process. It would be dope to make a job out of this, but I don't really think we're at a part where we should even be thinking about that right now.
Yeah.
For now, it's just something we do for fun. We love doing it. We love meeting you guys, seeing your comments. But if this did become like a thing, I'd be totally down for it. Where can I find the Discord link? So if you go to the Tanhony channel and you go to the About section, you should find the Discord link there. I will also post it in the chat for you because I am so benevolent. Just give me a moment. Invite people. Copy. I'm just so based. DED is Department of Decommissions. Cal Wilbo revived it recently, from what I understand. Also, don't you feel like you should add a bot for welcoming people? I I'm gonna be honest. I mean, if Henzoid and Tan want to, that's fine. But I kind of find bots that like have to do a personalized message when people join annoying. Just in general, I don't really like a lot of I don't like when Discords are too bot heavy and there's like a ton of like maneuvers you have to do. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But if that's more attractive to you guys and Henzoid and Tan don't mind working on that, I mean, if it's something we should work on, I'll try and contribute as well as best I can. Then that's fine. But I just find it annoying. Always in second. Hey Darnell, if it makes you feel any better, I don't know that much about SCP either. The reason why I like listening to you guys is that's very casual, especially the podcast. So I guess it's more digestible for me. Well, that's very flattering. Thank you, Always in Second. I'm really glad you enjoy the. I'm really glad you enjoy listening to the podcast. I'm glad to have a kindred spirit with me here because it feels like everyone else freaking knows what's going on. So it's nice that me and you were kind of like brothers in not knowing things, I guess. Brothers in naivete. I should probably check back in on Tan's SCP. I'm thankful I've been able to keep chatting and keeping the noise going. You've gone kind of radio silent on us.
No worries.
As I feared would happen.
Sorry, I've been in deep concentration here thinking about.
I told you it would happen, and you were like, "No, it's fine. I'll be able to talk while I'm writing." And I was like, "No, you won't, you bloke." Okay. So let's see. We got a couple of things here. Do you think you'll post this on the wiki today, right away,
Maybe
or do you
not
want to get
today.
a credit?
I want to get credit.
Yeah, it's always smart to get credit. He mentioned as much in the thing, in our how to write an SCP. Not DM, if that's what you meant. I meant just a normal welcome. When a bot DMs you, it feels weird. I mean, again, just X out of the bot message. It only happens once when you join, right? But I guess I get what you're saying. I don't know. I just find Discord bots annoying in general. Like, I like the ones that make things work, but I hate, like, Tatsumaki and all the bells and whistles like Me6 and stuff. I guess, like, Groovy bot's okay, but it's annoying in big Discords because then people just start spamming loud music on purpose, that kind of thing. And, I mean, right now our Discord is very small and chill, but I am admittedly a little worried if it becomes a big Discord because I've never done well in Discords with over, like, 100 or 200 people. I usually don't touch them, but hopefully I can get invested and we can give you guys a good time, some good interactions. T3DK at Killer Gamer. It does, I think. Oh, he's just answering Killer Gamer. Yeah, there's a welcome channel that Discord does stuff automatically. That's fine. I don't mind that. Henzoid has honestly been indispensable. I have very limited experience with bots. Every time I set them up on a server, I have to re-Google how they work, and it takes me forever. Tan brought him on, and he kind of set everything up for us, which was extremely nice, because it would have probably taken me 3 or 4 times as long and may not have been as efficient. So, just real big shout out, excuse me, by the way, real big shout out to Henzoid. He's a great mod/admin on our Discord, and thank you to him helping us with the chat. He's really tied everything together for us and made it a lot simpler, because otherwise, I promise you, our Discord would not be nearly as sophisticated, because I would just be like, fuck it. And Tan doesn't, I mean, no knocks on Tan, but just, you know, he doesn't really know how to set all that stuff up on Discord. I don't think he ever indispensable. Our roleplay channel has, like, no roles in 3 channels that we mix up so bad. Yeah, Henzoid knows what up. He mentioned he runs a Discord server with, like, 1.3 or 1.4k people or something. Or maybe it was 13 or 14k. I don't want to misrepresent. He brought it up in the mod chat the other day. Hexic, I'm worried about that too. I'm in some big Discords and I almost never interact on them anymore because it's so crowded and spammy. I agree. I feel the same way. I like it small. Maybe we can implement a slow mode at some point, but I find that kind of a clumsy workaround. It's kind of annoying and makes conversation hard. I just wish people were, like, less spammy in general. It's always with big Discords, though, that's the case. An alternative workaround to that, if we do monetize, might be, like, a special channel for people that are patrons. So, like, you know, the people that donate or that are more active necessarily will have a chat that's less crowded. Again, though, way in the future, if we're even going to do that. We may also make one for, we have a chat for mods and admins, but right now it's just us 2 and Henzoid. And we'd like to keep it that way until the server's so big that we need more. Because I usually find if you have too many mods and admins, it's just like a power-hungry grab type thing, and they don't actually help. They just like to show off their status and get all, like, flaunty with it, so I prefer to keep it small if possible. Right now, Henzoid's just been the MVP, so to speak. Awesome. Okay, wow.
You want to read through it?
You really put me through my paces with the monologuing there. Holy shit. I mean, we kind of already read through it, so it feels a little awkward if
Okay,
you want to.
Okay, well, I'll just go through the table then.
Yeah, because I wasn't really looking at the table. So Paulina Novikova, female, age 8. Body part, tip of fingernail. Following events. No further psychological symptoms noted. Following exposure, Miss Novikova reported the anomaly to her parents staying in the hotel, who subsequently reported it to the authorities. I assume that's how the SCP was discovered. D2291, male, age 34. Body part, index finger. Following exposure, D2291 exhibited greater loyalty to fellow D class and significantly reduced antisocial tendencies. Following release at the end of his employment period, D2291 returned to his hometown and gained employment as an office worker. D9319, male, age 21. Tongue. Following exposure, D9319 demonstrated significantly more honesty. Following release, he went on to donate the remains of his personal funds to victims of fraud. D4388, female, age 42. Both hands. D4388 expired during exposure to SCP-X due to blood loss. A muffled moaning sound was subsequently audible beneath the floorboards. Footnote about how no searchers found anything there. Very creepy. Adds kind of another layer. D5222, male, age 19. Footnote, known in the media as the Slasher of Salivate. Head. Scissor. Yeah, so you did take my advice, one that's like an auto kill. Scissors manifest as a pair of large garden shears. Following decapitation. I thought that, yeah, minimum size, not max. Following self-decapitation, D5222's body remained animate and left SCP-X with supervising personnel unable to recall why exactly they did not prevent this. The headless corpse then left the hotel completely and, over the course of the next 12 months, ran for a position in the local council? So how come the lady just died, but this dude who was a serial killer gets to live as a headless individual? No media covering the election, nor individuals watching said media were able to perceive. Also, I thought this made people good, not made them politicians. Were able to deceive D5222 as being a headless corpse. After being voted in, the corpse passed a number of laws protecting the homeless population in the district before finally expiring. The body was recovered and all witnesses amnesticized with a sophisticated misinformation campaign successfully preventing a breach of the veil. What's the veil?
That's like the masquerade. It's like the secrecy of all the anomalous shit.
Sure. Testing involving individuals guilty of numerous counts of first-degree murder suspended indefinitely. So the lady just dies and that's it, but this guy becomes like a headless horseman of politics and reform. Very interesting. That was a fun read. I would give it probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I mean, we read the description as special containment earlier, going off all that. I like it. I think it's clever. Yeah, get it critted, get it posted, and maybe I'll give it an upvote. I'll think about it, bud. Maybe, just maybe.
How dare you?
I always freaking love Tanhony's articles. Okay. 14K now, yes. Damn. Who's the most ping person in Discord? Seems I have the most of what I checked. 7 pings in 2 days. Mods end up just backseat modding each other in big Discord, so very true, T3DK. You don't need a head to live, I guess. You do. Unless you're chicken.
Serial killers don't need heads to live, it's true.
It's true. Try it with your local serial killer. Give them a snip.
Right, okay. Well, that's the SCP written. Shall we get back to what we had left, which I believe is just the decommissioning department hub given to us by Wilbur Wagons?
Bilbo Wagons. All right, will this be the last one, and then we end the stream? I'm starting to...
I think this will be... we're going to close on.
Okay, because I need to break for mealtime soon. I'm very hungry. Tanhony does write mega cool stuff. Very true, Wilbo. Wilbo, you to MVP. All right, hopefully this one isn't super long.
Okay, well, let's read through it.
Oh, is this more like a tale?
This is a hub
or something
from what I've
along
heard,
the lines. Yeah. Okay, so this is like... So do we have to read everything in the hub?
No. So
this is like to introduce a group of some kind, right?
Yeah. So let's get into it. So the decommissioning department. The decommissioning department is the overseeing department regarding the intentional destruction of anomalous objects.
Okay, so when they want to neutralize shit like 682.
While the Foundation normally focuses on the containment of anomalous objects and regards their destruction as a waste, there are some instances that prove an exception to this ideology. Anomalous objects are diverse and ungoverned, and some of them, for various reasons, are too difficult to contain, leaving the destruction as the only viable option. The Decommissioning Department is designed to focus on this rare but necessary area of the Foundation's operations.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Henzoid's saying cold post. What does that mean?
That means post without crit.
Oh, no, don't do that. Honestly, it is pretty good, and you had the chat to crit it, I guess, but I still think because even when I try to crit you, I try not to hold back like when I was critting Hezix's, but like I could feel you holding back a bit. I feel like it's easier to crit over text because there's not the implication of hurting someone's feelings as much.
Yeah.
So I think it helps to have the text crit in the comments.
Yeah, I'm going to pass it around for crit before...
Yeah.
I will credit the YouTube live stream as a critter for that, though.
You probably should put it in the comment. I've been here over 9 years, guys.
Oh,
and I would just like to thank the YouTube live stream community, all 20 of our viewers.
Tanny, thanks
yes.
you.
Oh, God. You want to make Tanny a nickname so bad so you have a reason to get mad. You can smell it on you.
So the Decommissioning Department is designed to focus on this rare but necessary area of the Foundation's operations. It's split into two divisions, the Analysis Division and the Execution Division.
Oh, is that an actual SCP that was neutralized, 083 Duke?
It was, yes. The Analysis Division...
Is he a vampire?
Yeah, so I'll go into what decommissioning is, because we probably won't go through this on the podcast.
Okay.
So
sure.
basically, these were articles that were so shit that it wasn't enough just to delete them. They had to write up a story about how they killed them. And then they got the -D thing, which is Duke. Well, not Duke, decommissioned. They weren't all named Duke.
Henzoid making a hot take here. I don't know anything about them. But yeah, exactly. I think sometimes it's helpful because I try to be... I don't want to say blunt because I hate people who are like, I'm blunt, and then they're just mean. But like when giving crit, like I'm just trying to sincerely help. That's why I don't hold back on my thoughts, but I try to phrase them in a polite way. I don't like when people are like, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Just post it to get credit and then leave it to someone else to tell you because they don't want to.
So the analysis,
Tanhony.
The Analysis Division includes various researchers and other personnel and authorizes the decommissioning of objects along with researching how to do so.
So if I remember, you said basically this is ones where people hated them so much they write a thing about how they killed it.
Yes.
So it's different than like a neutralized test.
Yeah. This is sort of out of universe.
Okay.
But sort of in universe at the same time. This department frequently works with on-site researchers for this purpose, as well as consulting with the ethics committee before making the decision to authorize decommissioning.
Can I actually make a thought?
Okay.
I mean, I want to finish the rest of this article. But although it's funny if there's a really shitty article to destroy it, and while it may be even appropriate if it's like an inappropriate article or very like, messed up in some way, I do kind of don't like the idea of like, oh, your article was so bad, we're going to further pile on. Like, I would like to
it's
get
not done anymore. It's not done anymore.
I would like to get the decommissioning department decommissioned. It just seems so mean. Like,
it's not done anymore.
You're making SCP a country club where like if you're not good enough, you'll be made fun of. Okay, yeah, T3DK said the new one's different. But yes, continue reading.
So the Execution Division consists primarily of agents and some researchers and performs the actual decommissioning of objects. This division is especially a necessity for sentient, sapient, or otherwise resistant objects. The history of the Decommissioning Department is not a very long one, but it does have roots far beyond its inception. When the Foundation first developed the object class system, there were a total of 4 object classes: Safe, Euclid, Keter, and Neutralized. Shortly after the system was developed, the question arose of how to deal with anomalies that would be better destroyed than contained. Eventually, the decommissioned class were created to denote objects that were intentionally destroyed by the Foundation.
So by this logic, because I know this is a new article we're critting, but by this logic, would you write Shyman as decommissioned then?
I would,
instead of neutralized.
I would probably say neutralized, but if you take this into account, it would be decommissioned.
Yeah, because they're intentionally destroying him.
So unfortunately, this classification and the authority to assign it were not greatly considered, and the powers given primarily to site directors and other senior staff members who proved incompetent in handling this responsibility.
Actually, Henzoid brought a good point. GOC already does the same thing. I was going to say, would GOC work with the decommissioning department? I think they would be stoked on that.
Maybe.
That's their whole gimmick, right?
Decommissions were often performed with little to no reason beyond the whims of senior staff, and acted with absolutely no authority over them, save for the O5 Council, who permitted their actions as long as it had little lasting effects at large.
Wait, so is that basically this article's version of shitting on the old version of them?
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Eventually, this culminated in the infamous SCP-083 decommissioning, in which Dr. Kondraki single-handedly managed to nearly destroy Site-19, releasing SCP-682 in the process. While the termination of SCP-083 was technically successful, it was abundantly clear that he had used the termination as an opportunity to complete his own agenda, with absolutely no regard for the lives of others. Following this incident, decommissioning as a practice was completely abolished. Several years later, however, the question that first created the decommissioned object class was raised again, this time in reference to a newer SCP object, SCP-4456. I'm not familiar with that one, but let's take it as an example here. The object in question, while not particularly dangerous, was incredibly difficult and expensive to contain, costing the SCP Foundation millions of dollars in the span of a few days. The research director for this object, Dr. Bold, questioned whether it would be easier to simply destroy the object rather than keep it contained. A proposal was sent to the O5 Council. What's this red link? Do you want us to read this as well, Wilbo?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff in this article, because there's also a whole writing guide.
Yeah, we're going to leave the writing guide and this edition alone for now, Wilbo. Sorry, because Darnell is dying.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bilbo. I hate to, I sleep on you, but this is a really big article.
Requesting the reactivation of the decommissioned object class. However, it wouldn't be similar to the old system of decommissioning with absolutely no authority or direction over it. Instead, it would be controlled by a select department with the highly bureaucratic system in place to ensure that such a process will be heavily monitored and justified. The proposal passed, and the new decommissioning department was activated with Dr. Bold as its director. While the decommissioning department is certainly still new to the Foundation stage, it's still seen its own fair share of use. The department has more than once proven itself both necessary and reliable, and is expected to continue seeing action in the future.
You know what's interesting about this, though? Is you can kind of create a checks and balances system, right?
Right.
With between the O5, the Ethics Committee, and the Decommissioning Committee. Like, the O5 tells you if a thing needs to be researched or what's allowed to be done to it. The Ethics Committee tells you what's the more ethical solution, and then the Decommissioning Committee destroys it, but they kind of need essentially the approval of the other two, so it kind of creates a cycle.
So I have to say, I like the hub and everything. It's written well. It goes over the events previously. Yes. I do have to agree with Henzo that I think that neutralization as an object class already sort of covers this.
Yeah, it just further complicates it to make a decommissioned class. I think the purpose of decommissioned before, given what Tan explained to me, was to specify this is making fun of this other person's thing. But I think now that you've created a new article that gets rid of that connotation, it's better to just get rid of that archaic part of the old version of the Decommissioning Committee and just keep it to neutralize. Because I feel like it's sort of a holdover from an older, shittier time, in my opinion, as an outsider looking in.
I would agree with you there. I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be just, I would say, have it focus on neutralizing SCPs rather than insisting on a decommissioning sort of verbiage.
For sure. Otherwise, I like it. I know we didn't go over the whole writing guide. I know we skipped the thing. I apologize. I would maybe go back to another time, but just personally, I mean, there's nothing wrong with putting a lot of detail, but as a writer, I don't even mind when an article's longer if each point is succinct, but when each point itself of a larger part is really large, it just feels like I kind of want to just cut it shorter, you know? It just feels like too much for me personally. That's not anything bad on you. Some people like having the high levels of details, but as Tan said, if this was the real SCP universe, we'd have like 1 billion pages on every article, but we keep it short because it's narrative. So having like 5 different pages you got to navigate to read the whole thing is overwhelming. Unless you're a part of the Fifth Church, of course, then it must be 5 pages long.
Jesus, we've been streaming for like 4.5 hours.
Not even close to that.
Yes, we have.
It says started streaming 2 hours ago.
You're right. What the fuck am I talking about? Wow.
That was 2.5 hours ago.
What the fuck am I talking about?
It's long, though, because that's way longer than any podcast we've done. Plus, we've been actively interacting and doing a whole variety of activities.
Yeah, so this will definitely be still on the channel afterwards if you want to watch it again.
Sure, and I'm sure, I mean, I don't want to put words in Tan's mouth, but I'm sure we'll do something like this again. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And I love interacting with you guys live. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely we'll be looking into further streaming stuff.
Yeah.
So
shout out again to everyone who tuned in. You guys are great. Also, shout out to Henzoid for being Henzoid.
Shout out to Mijor Sumerian for interviewing me. We're probably going to watch that in a bit after this to see.
Should we watch that on the stream? Actually, would that be fun?
I don't think so, because that'll be a shit reaction. Because it'll just be me talking over myself.
I know. We watched together the fake interview thing the other day.
The fake
interview.
You know, he's got a Tanhony impersonator in.
Yeah, and Tan was like talking. We were like watching it and watching together, and Tan was talking. And I could not tell the difference between because Sumerian's video audio quality is so much higher than ours. Like I could not tell the difference. I was like, "Wait, is that you in the video, or are you talking to me right now?" Oh god, it was funny.
So yes, thank you so much everyone who's tuned in.
Yeah. Please make sure you end the stream. It'll be super embarrassing if it's not over. Yeah, I think we're probably going to end it here, Henzoid. Maybe we can chit-chat a little bit longer, but I don't know. I'm getting kind of drained.
Darnell's about to die, so...
I can only handle about 3 to 4 hours of social interaction a day before my brain just loses it.
So we hope you enjoyed yourselves. We're definitely going to be doing this again in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. How do we end the stream?
It's still going.